Percent Hard AF Seltzer is now live in over 2,500 locations across the United States. We're now available in Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, North Carolina, Ohio, Idaho, Illinois, Michigan, Montana, Oregon, and Texas. Go to hardafseltzer.com today, click on the store locator, enter your city or zip, and find the nearest location closest to you.
Live from our studios in Austin, Texas, this is Drinkin Bro's Fake News with Ross Patterson, Dan Holloway, Papa G with the traffic,
How you feel?
Not good.
Yeah?
field reporter Hot Bob, and Delco Dan with sports. Welcome to Fake News.
Yeah, welcome to Drinkin Bros Fake News, everybody. Bringing you the realest, fakest news of the week. Appreciate you joining us live on YouTube today. Although March Madness is going on. All right, Anthony, since it's happening right now as we speak live, who did you pick to win it all?
I didn't.
Really?
Yeah.
You didn't get it in a time?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I didn't try.
Oh, you didn't
I
try?
wasn't really. I don't think there's any point.
You don't follow college basketball that much?
No, I don't. But I also don't think. I don't think there's any, like, this is the least predictable year I've ever seen.
It's crazy, right? Mm-hmm. Every team is so good, it's very hard to pick. I understand that. We have a huge tournament going on mybookie.com. Promo code Drinkin Bros doubles that first deposit all the way up to $1,000. So I put in 3 brackets. Bob, did you do the same?
I just did the one.
Okay.
I always just do one bracket. I have my picks are my picks.
And that's it.
My fucking bracket's already busted with High Point.
Stop. I told you, you didn't know a goddamn thing about High Point yesterday on the show.
I know plenty about Purdue, though.
I know.
They soft.
Yeah.
They soft.
Well, they won.
They're going to lose in the next round.
They won. They absolutely crushed here. But, yeah, if you signed up, $2,500 to Drinkin Bros listeners on my bookie there. And if I beat you, which I hope to, yeah, I filled out 3 brackets. I don't give a shit, dude. I'm a dirtbag. So I'm all in here. I did pick some weird ones, though. I'll let you know that.
I mean,
now that it's done, it's done.
Yeah, I made a big parlay today.
Well, what'd you make the parlay on? I made a huge parlay, too.
I like all of the favorites that I have confidence in. I just bundled them. 10 of them.
Nice.
Yeah, it was like plus 560 or something like that.
Dude, I have one that pays off at $100,000. I picked all 16 teams, and it pays off at $100,000 if it hits. So we'll see.
I mean, you should take if you're in gambling, you should do 3 or 4 or 5 of those a day and just put $5 or $10 on each one.
Just because it's fun.
Because the odds are huge on.
It's just fun. It's just like a lottery ticket.
I mean,
dude.
even if you just pick all the favorites, regardless of what, just the money line favorites on everything, you're going to get at least 5 to 1.
Yeah.
On that,
Yeah.
if not like 15, 20 to 1, depending on how some of the other ones are close. So just fuck around with it.
I had Creighton today. Creighton ended up winning big, so amped about that. I'm on fire so far, doing well. What was the final score of that Wisconsin game? Spread was 16.5.
It looks, okay, just ended. They won by 19.
Yes!
There you go, they covered.
Thank you. There we go, dude.
Whatever,
Sorry, my
dude.
bookie. Yes. I've got Wisconsin winning it all in one of my brackets, by the way, just to do it. Got to go different here. A lot of people are picking Florida and Auburn this year. It's not a sports show, but welcome. Welcome, kids. All right, real news at the top of the show here. We are down to 40 days left for wefunder.com/hardafseltzer. If you want to invest, you can do so there. If you're having March Madness parties over the weekend, drinking a 12-pack, that way if you invest in it, you're taking pictures of it and popping it up everywhere. At least you own the company, and it helps. Plus, we're hiring our listeners. We got about 18 employees over there, and a lot of them work for us, including Ryan Mills. Ryan Mills is one of our first hires, by the way. Love Ryan Mills. He's out here in these streets and asked us to shout out a few stores here. So new accounts, Hootin' and Hollerin' Beer and Liquor. and Gun Barrel City. I like that. That's in Texas, dude. That's a hell of a Texas name. Gun Barrel City. I don't know where that's at, but I like it. Total Wines are all stocked up as of this morning here across the state. He's got a tasting this Friday, March 21st from 4 to 7 p.m. at the HEB in McKinney. That is 8700 El Dorado Parkway. Giving away some merch, giving away some free drinks. You can booze it up in the store at a tasting tomorrow from 4 to 7 at the HEB in McKinney. 8700 El Dorado Parkway. Also, some new accounts here at Hootin' and Holler Beer and Liquor in Gun Barrel City, which I mentioned. Goodnight Spirits in Midland. And the United Market Streets are all stocked up as well in Texas. And yeah, man, enjoy yourself out there. Enjoy yourself. Thanks for supporting us and supporting the brands. All right, let's get to the news, shall we? I thought this was going to be a bust, Anthony. I'm not going to lie. I thought this first story was going to be a bust, and I wasn't amped about it, but they did it. JFK Files Released. Trump actually made a statement on this and said we're releasing the files tomorrow. A lot of people were waiting around throughout the day hoping these would drop, but something bigger happened in the morning. I forget what it was. So they pushed the story till later in the day. Do you remember what that was? Trump had a meeting somewhere in the morning.
He had a meeting with Putin.
That's what it was. And they ended up releasing it later on the afternoon. Came out right after we got off the air, so we didn't get a chance to chat about it. Also, it was 80,000 pages worth of documents, so that's going to take a while to go through. Now, what about you personally? What did you learn from the drop of these files?
Well, the first thing is, I think the thing that we most learned is that kind of precisely how the CIA operates and how they have since the 1950s, since they were established, which is to say they use information and disinformation, disaffected political groups, economic warfare. They also use this process of slow rolling or slow leaking conspiracy theories, so it softens the blow when the actual information comes out, including in this case. And economic warfare to overthrow countries all over the world, which is something that we knew was happening. But what we knew and couldn't prove is that they were doing it here as well. And these documents prove that they did it here as well. Thanks to my friend Carl for putting all this together on his show, but I'm going to go through a couple things.
Yeah, because over the years, by the way, you and Evan in particular have chatted about JFK, who actually did this, the files, and all this stuff for some time, and everybody DM'd me, and they were like, "Hey, on fake news, you guys are going to cover this. I'd love to hear D'Anthony's take on it." So I'm gonna give this one to you today because you've had a particular interest in this for years, whereas I've been just a fan of the movies and all the fanfare of it, but I never really got too deep in the weeds as far as the details.
Yeah, you're going to have to follow me on this because it's a lot of information. But now with these files, we know exactly what the CIA did inside the United States, and they killed JFK. There's no question about that.
Yeah.
And oddly, that's not even the thing that they tried to have redacted, any of the proof of that. It's something else. We'll get to that in a minute. So the first thing I'll introduce you to is Gary Underhill. Probably heard of this guy if you've ever looked into the JFK stuff, but if not, he was a World War II vet, OSS intelligence operator, and then became a CIA intelligence specialist afterwards. He, after the assassination, was on record stating that this is part of the documentation. He was on record stating that a clique inside the CIA that was making money selling guns, drugs, and influence, and all sorts of other contraband as well, had JFK clipped. And then he said that Kennedy got wind of it and what was going on. He threatened to expose them, and they killed him. Now, Underhill, 6 months after making that statement, was found shot in the left side of his head behind the ear, despite being right-handed, and it was classified as suicide.
Interesting.
Impossible is the word you're looking for.
Yeah.
No one in the history of the world has shot themselves like this, ever.
No.
Not once has that ever happened. Okay, so that's the first kind of smoking gun with regard to, I mean, this is kind of a pun, I guess, but...
I love puns. I love them, though.
The next one is the mayor of Dallas. Now, there's been a lot of smoke around the fact that the mayor of Dallas changed the route that JFK was going to drive that day. And to no one's satisfaction has it been explained. Well, I'm going to explain it for you. His name was Earl Cabell. The release docs show that he was an active CIA asset, and obviously he was, because his brother Charles was a CIA employee, not just an employee, but the deputy director of the agency at the time. So the mayor of Dallas's brother was the deputy director of the CIA, and on the day he changed the route that JFK's car would go, so it would drive straight down that street with the book depository at his 6 o'clock. Okay. All right. Excuse me. The other notable part about that is that Charles Cabell, the deputy director of the CIA, was forced to retire a year earlier by JFK. Okay. Because of his involvement in the Bay of Pigs fiasco. After the Bay of Pigs, JFK promised to scatter the CIA to the wind. You can find that quote anywhere. Now, the ICA, which ran the Bay of Pigs up, it was an internal organization inside of the CIA. The ICA ran the Bay of Pigs up. It was disbanded 5 months after the operation because it went so poorly. Not long after that, the ICA was replaced with, you guessed it, USAID.
No way.
Yes, because they wanted to bring it back under the State Department. So the CIA, State Department, etc., all the government agencies, all went from using ICA to hide their money to use to interfere with foreign countries, use to interfere with the civil rights movement in the United States, so on and so forth, all this stuff. They moved it all over to USAID under the State Department. And this is about the time when the CIA started using the State Department for cover. I misspoke a minute ago. I said that there was one thing that they wanted redacted. There were two. The second thing that they wanted redacted was that the CIA uses the State Department to move their agents and officers around the world. Like that's the least best kept secret ever. Mm-hmm. Everybody fucking knows that. What are you talking about? Anyways, that went on for 62 years. It stopped about a month ago when Trump put a stop to it. 62 years. All of these intelligence agencies inside the United States, including the ones that killed JFK, were using the USAID as a piggy bank. That's why they're so mad, by the way, because their fucking faucet got shut off. Then Oswald shoots Kennedy, November the 2nd, I think, 1963.
22nd, I believe. Bob?
Oh, yeah.
The 22nd.
The second is when the two Vietnam guys got clipped. I'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
November 22nd, 63. So LBJ's first act after getting sworn in is to establish the Warren Commission, which is run by Allen Dulles, this former CIA director who was also fired by Kennedy for the Bay of Pigs fiasco.
And forgive me for asking this. Is his name on the airport?
Yeah, that's Dulles.
That's the same guy?
Yeah.
Really?
Bad dude.
Yeah, he is one of the worst human beings in the history of this country.
So the guy who was responsible for killing JFK, they named the airport after him in D.C.?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, it's awesome, right?
That's cool.
So, LBJ, of course, wanted to press in Vietnam, and Kennedy wanted out. Two brothers named Diem, the Diem brothers. One was the president of South Vietnam. The other one was his closest confidant, a state counselor in South Vietnam. They were planning on nationalizing all the banks and taking a deal with the VC, a peace deal with the VC, and creating a DMZ between North and South Vietnam and establishing communications and trade again, right? And then the CIA came in and killed both of them on November 2nd, 20 days before JFK got clipped. The CIA, without permission from our president, killed both of these guys and then launched a coup in Vietnam, which led to the fucking war, basically, right?
Because I oddly enough, 2 weeks ago, two of my best friends are Vietnamese. It's a couple, and we were chatting about this. And he's first generation, came over. His dad fought in Vietnam. Mm-hmm. He's always wondered why America, invaded Vietnam, and I've never had. I go, you know what? I've never really understood it.
Well, there's a lot of moving parts there, but mostly it's the military-industrial complex.
That's it, right?
Thomas Massey.
That's what I said. Yeah.
Thomas Massey says it all the time. the military-industrial complex demands $50 billion in funds a year. Whatever war, they don't care what the war is. They want their fucking money, and they're going to get it, right? So that's why. Now, you can see a couple of parallels here. You can see the agencies pissed off at him for not protecting them or giving them what they wanted for the Bay of Pigs bullshit. And that didn't go well. And then he fired everybody after the fact. He also said, you guys are becoming too powerful. We're going to dismantle you. And then he said, you guys are starting, you're a civilian organization that's starting wars and sending American troops to die. I'm not having that. So this is why JFK was killed by the CIA. There's no question about that. Now, when the first push of these docs came, the CIA didn't actually object, right? This is in the 90s. The only thing that they objected to was, and you can see this in these unredacted documents, they were requesting, there's multiple documents where they're requesting redactions of anything mentioning Israeli intelligence. That's odd, right? Because to me, this is the most significant and odd part about the release, because of all the things they could have asked to redact, including things that clearly implicate themselves in Kennedy's assassination. Why would they want that part removed? Well, even more so than showing that they did it. They didn't want Israeli intelligence to be mentioned here.
And here's my guess on that, is because of the current conflict going on right now.
This was in the 1990s.
No. I understand, but it's still redacted when these were released.
No.
Oh, it's out now?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and that's the very odd part about it. Now, we don't know if we got all the documents or not, but based on the documents that we've seen, Israeli intelligence, if anything, was being used by the United States, not vice versa. There's no evidence to suggest that. There's evidence that they definitely showed that the KGB was involved. They showed that the Cubans were involved, the mafia was involved, and maybe some Jewish members of the mafia, like Jack Ruby, for example. Jack Rubenstein, that's his real name.
Right.
But he worked with the Italian mob. He wasn't working with the Jewish mob necessarily. So all the stuff that we already knew about, but not Israeli. There's no evidence that the Israeli government was involved at all, except for being this request that they redact Israeli intelligence from the list for whatever reason. Unclear on exactly why they would do that. But this is what I think. The CIA killed Kennedy. I'm 100% certain of this. I don't think you could look at these documents and come to any other conclusion.
I agree.
The only request, the redaction rather, of Israeli involvement means something quite a bit different to me. There is this growing movement, especially on the American right, that thinks the Jews are responsible for everything. You hear this shit all the time, right?
I don't think that.
And I don't either, but I mean, it's pretty pervasive now. And you'll hear phrases like, it's not all Jews, but it's always Jews. And that's cute, but Cabell wasn't Jewish, and nor was his brother, nor was Oswald, or Allen Dulles, or LBJ, or George H.W. Bush. None of these people are fucking Jews.
No,
they're all white Christians, all of them, that conducted this operation from the very top level. And I think that all of this has been the CIA, and then whomever runs them in a more permanent way, which I'll address in just a minute. But all of this is run by the agency. They're the ones who clipped JFK. They're the ones, this is my opinion, but I sincerely believe this after looking at all this stuff. They're the ones that clipped JFK. They used Israeli intelligence as support in the same way that we use Saudi Arabian and Jordanian intelligence as support right now for extraordinary rendition, right? We've been doing it for the last 25 years. If somebody that's bad enough that we can't send to Gitmo and need to torture them, we fucking call Jordan, be like, hey, we're going to send you this prisoner. You guys, they will have Jordan create a fucking bolo, like, hey, we want this guy. We'll extradite him to Jordan. He goes to a black site and they torture the shit out of him because we're not illegally allowed to. We've been doing this shit since the beginning, right? And it's all run by the United States. I don't believe that this is. Let me rephrase that. I've gone, after looking at these documents, from thinking Israeli military intelligence ran these operations to seeing clearly that the United States government ran these operations. Elements within the United States government, not the totality, obviously, but elements like Angleton and others, Dulles, inside the U.S. government ran these operations, and that Israeli military intelligence was a partner or a fucking subordinate in this. And it's very clear from his documents that that's true. They're the ones who ran Epstein, the United States, the CIA specifically, ran Epstein. That was their operation. It was not the Jews or whatever. Israel was definitely involved. Both of the last two prime ministers were definitely involved, in my opinion. There's no question about that. But that was our operation that we were running. And they're more than happy to, like, people have asked me, I've been talking about this for a couple of days now. People have asked me, well, why would the U.S. even do that if they want to project Israel as our ally and then start leaking this information to show that they've done this or done that, or even allow that conspiracy theory, quote unquote conspiracy theory, to exist? Because they're more than happy to let Israel be the boogeyman. Of course they are. They've got a built-in scapegoat there. It's the perfect one because of the sympathies American Jews and American Christians have for Israel and the Jews, more broadly speaking, right? Regardless of what they're actually guilty of or not, 50 to 60% of this country will support them.
Because of the Holocaust?
The Holocaust, the Christianity, Judaism, whatever the fuck, right? Doesn't matter. Regardless of what they've done, most people will support them. So what does that mean? That means they'll call anyone criticizing their involvement in anything a conspiracy theory. And thus, any conspiracy involving them is reduced to a mere conspiracy theory now, instead of an actual conspiracy, which is what they are. It's never been more clear to me than now.
And when you read this, and this is for the audience and also a personal question as well, and you have these deep sighs as you're reading this, is it because you're frustrated with our government and that this is going on, or frustrated that we have the information and we're not doing anything about it?
Yeah, sure, both. I mean, it's especially as a soldier, you always like wince when you see your country doing shit that's evil, and that's what our country's been doing. It's never been more clear to me now that this has never had anything to do with the Jews or Israel, although the government of Israel, at least elements inside of it. The last prime minister, Netanyahu to some degree, but the last prime minister especially, what's his name, Ehud Barak or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Barak especially.
Eid or something like that.
Bob. He was at the
EID, I think his last name
he was inside the small group that was running the Epstein operation. That part is clear.
The one before Netanyahu was Yair Lapid.
No, the one from
before that.
Before that.
Naftali Bennett.
No.
Ehud Olmert.
No, it's Ehud Barak.
Oh, Ehud Barak. Yeah, he was He was 99 to 01.
Yeah. At any rate, Israel has some culpability. There's no question that they're involved in these. They've been used by us as a cutout over and over again, and they've been more than happy to be involved in it, right? It's not like this isn't an excuse for them. This is more so saying that our own government, being a bunch of motherfuckers, ran a coup against our own country in 1963 and haven't stopped. They haven't stopped that pressure. Now, they tried Congress against Trump because he's the threat to all this. Releasing these documents, huge threat. Calling people out in public, like, hey, you fucking dicks were in. So Trump hasn't really talked about much about this. He's letting people digest the information right now, which is a very smart thing to do. They tried to use Congress against him. They tried to impeach him twice.
Yep.
They tried the courts. They tried to put him in prison for 300 years and take all of his money. And they tried to kill that motherfucker 2 times, right? And that wasn't the Jews. They love Trump. That was our own goddamn government that did that. Be real fucking clear about that. Netanyahu and the Jews or the fucking whomever the fuck you think is out there that's a boogeyman have no incentive to go after Trump.
No.
That is retarded.
No.
And
he's probably their biggest ally.
yeah, it's CIA, it's the agency, and it's whomever backs them. Now, as to who backs them, that's harder to say. It makes you think of organizations like domestically, like Skull and Bones, globally like WEF or Soros and things like that. But the reality is we don't know the answer to that. We don't know definitively. And it could be some more loose conglomeration of a bunch of actors that are kind of facing the same direction. Who knows? Like we just don't know the answer to that. But I think that after these releases, We can be certain that that organization exists, whether it's a loose, like wink and a nod organization, or whether it's an organized group of people who are like trying to dictate the movements of the most powerful country on earth and affect foreign policy everywhere else and economics everywhere else as well. And our efforts should now be on finding out who these people are and executing them in public, like literally peeling their fucking skin off their body, public hangings, public crucifixions, public burnings, whatever we got to do. These people have to die, right? So
hangings, I'm a big fan of in town square, and then leaving the bodies there.
Yeah, so I think AIPAC has very little to do with the actual state of Israel. I think CARE, which is the Islamic version of AIPAC, basically, has little to do with any Islamic government. I think these are fucking tools that are being used, just like these dipshits in Antifa, just like the fucking Black Lives Matter people. I think they're disaffected political groups, that some overarching organization that's using funding pathways through USAID to fund this stuff and robbing taxpayers and using their own money to disrupt things all around the world and can maintain control. I think that's what's happening. I don't think it's specific governments necessarily, although our government is the biggest. Like all these other boogeymen that are out there, I think our government is the biggest perpetrator here by a wide fucking margin. I don't think anybody even comes close to what we've done, frankly. And the forced vaccinations, the waste and abuse from overtaxation, all that bullshit, it pales in comparison to the totalitarian control the CIA and its backers have held over the U.S. population for the last 60 years. Everything that's happened, multiple unnecessary wars, trillions of dollars, tens of thousands of American lives lost, so on and so fucking forth. And the only people who could possibly be involved in something like that come from very old money. That's the only way, because it's been going on for that amount of time.
I agree.
They have to come from very old money. I'm talking about Prescott Bush, people like that, right?
Soros is very old.
Yeah, well, I mean, but he comes from old money.
Old
too.
money, yeah.
Yeah, like the only people that could possibly have had the power back then to start something like this and be rich enough to start something like this are people with extremely old money. And I think that's where we should start looking. I think some of these people that are doing these investigations should immediately start looking at the ties between people who come from old money families, like Vanderbilt's, for example, like Anderson Cooper's family, right? And put them on fucking display and find out exactly what their relationships have been over the years. Because they are the only group of people that could possibly have been involved in this at that top level, that are multinational, that are billionaires, and have been for a long time.
Because it needs funding. And to your point, by the way, as of 26 minutes ago, this leaked. And Bob, I just sent it to you on Twitter here if you can pull this up. So these are leaked documents revealing how riots are organized and funded through leftist NGOs.
Yeah, my buddy Harrison over at InfoWars broke this, actually.
Okay.
They did a good piece on it. If you go to Harrison Smith on Instagram, you'll find his breakdown. Actually, just go to Alex Jones.
Well, you can go there, but it's also, they hand you these pamphlets, and they're in hard paper. They're not emailed. Right. So that way, it's non-traced or whatever, but they tell you how to riot, what to do, all the practices. Bob, post these on the screen here. And if you guys want to screenshot them at home and then read through these, you can here. But it says approved practices. You may not, under any circumstances, deviate from the practices enumerated in this section. That is in all caps. So if you're going to have hand-to-hand combat in some of these protests, it says here, only use closed fists. Closed fists may be used only below the neck and above the belt, which is interesting. Open hands may be used wherever. So I guess that's what, slapping? You can slap somebody in the face, I guess. Yeah. But just not with a closed fist. Kicking is not permitted unless provoked, with no other recourse. It says, do not reach for LE weapons. What is LE?
Law enforcement.
Okay. Or make any moves that could be misconstrued as reaching for their weapon. General behavior, do not congregate with other ops or ops. What is that?
Operators or auxiliary operators.
And what's an auxiliary operator?
An additional one, somebody that's not part of the main body.
Okay, so do not congregate with other ops or ops in groups of more than 2. So does that mean there is always going to be operators in the crowds at some of these things during these riots and everything?
Yeah, and this document that you're pointing out, you got to go to Alex Jones or InfoWars Twitter, and you can see there's about a 40-minute video of Harrison breaking this all down. Go watch it in your own time. But this document was produced by someone.
Yep.
It's Americans. God, what the fuck is the
It's
name of it?
AOEC, but I don't know what that I don't know what that stands for.
Hang on, I'll
It says
find it.
AOEC representatives at Act Points Gamma Prime. Gamma Prime is in all caps.
Yeah, it's. Dun, 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 dun.
So what is the AOEC? I guess.
Fuck. I'll have to find it. It's Americans for Democracy or some shit like that is the name of the organization that I think he talks about.
Okay, and then Gamma Prime. What's that?
Who knows?
Gamma Prime is in all caps
That's
as well.
some Gaylord fucking name for something. Who knows? I mean, it's like people trying to be clever, probably. Who the fuck knows?
'Cause it
Everyone
says-
knows I was the Transformer buried under the pyramid on Mars.
That would
Gamma
be fucking
Prime.
awesome. if
Speaking
it
of the
was.
fucking pyramids, man, they're a massive discovery has happened. I'll actually throw that in as a second story.
Yeah,
because
yeah. You want to do
it's
that?
It's wild as shit.
Let me finish this real quick. It says, "Do not demobilize until instructed by an agitord." AGITORG.
I don't know if that means like
Agitord or higher via VIA 328BG. Don't know what that means.
Oh, it's Friends of Democracy. That's the name of the organization.
Friends of Democracy.
Yeah, so this organization, Friends of Democracy, which is linked to Soros, obviously, of course it is, has been working with law enforcement somewhere. Like people in law enforcement helped produce this document. You got to go read. You got to go watch Harrison Smith's breakdown of this. It's on. It's at Harrison H. Smith on Twitter. Really got to go watch that because it breaks down this whole fucking thing.
It's great, and these protesters, because this is what we've been saying for years, and it's finally confirmed
Like
here.
not one of these fucking stacks of bricks that you've seen just appeared out of thin air.
No.
Man. All this shit's been done on purpose. It's the same. It's a color revolution. It's the same shit the CIA has been doing in countries all over the fucking world.
Yeah.
In Asia, in Africa, in Europe. All over Central and South America, every part of the globe except for Antarctica, and the only reason we can't do that is because you can't turn a penguin against another fucking penguin.
Yes.
But we'd sure as shit try, wouldn't we?
And if you're asking why would people do this voluntarily, well, they're not.
They're getting paid big money.
So on page 2 here of this document, it says the disbursement of funds will occur in 3 stages. Initial disbursement of funds prior to action. If you've not already received this disbursement, please reach out to the designated point of contact. Typically, this will constitute 5 to 10% of the negotiated amounts. The ETA on when to expect this money being paid is 1 to 2 weeks prior to action. So that's 1 to 2 weeks prior to whatever riot or protest you're showing up at. Stage 2 of this is immediately following debrief, AOEC representatives will direct you where and when you can expect to see the next stage of funding disbursement. Typically, this will constitute 20 to 30% of the negotiated amounts. The estimated time of arrival on that is 24 to 48 hours following the action. The final disbursement of funds will come at some point in the future, a timeline to be determined by AOEC representatives. Your contact and further possible amendments from AOEC and these agitors, whoever the fuck that is. This will constitute the remainder of the negotiated amounts. Please allow 4 to 6 months following action for the payments. The payment may be delayed, however. And there's a little sticky note on the side of this, Bob, if you can pop in over there. And so they're kind of breaking down the funds here. So somebody was promised $26,000, and this was $1,437 per 13 people. And that's what they were getting paid. So to break this down in Hollywood terms, by the way, an extra in a movie, if you were going to be on a movie set all day, typically costs around $800, somewhere in there, right? And they're in a union. They're still in the Screen Actors Guild and all that other stuff. Now, what they're paying them, this rate, is essentially what a background stunt performer gets. So $1,437 is stunts, which is essentially what you're doing here. You're punching other people and slapping other people and fighting, and then just kind of hanging out in the streets and doing shit. This is not a bad living if this is what you're going to do.
Well, it explains how people that have the time to protest at 8 a.m. on a Tuesday morning
Bingo.
can make their way all the way across country to do it, right?
It also explains why I saw them in my hotel lobby when we first moved to Austin, and then I saw the exact same people in the airports getting on a flight to go up to Portland. So, yeah, I mean, they're just traveling in groups. All of this is funded, and now the rates and the numbers are broken down. And I'm going to be honest with you here, $14.37 a day, it's a pretty goddamn good living.
Yeah, it's not bad work if you can get it, especially when it's completely off book.
Yeah.
And all of this is, they don't want any kind of fucking paper trail for any of this stuff. So I just want to reiterate this whole situation. These documents show us that while, despite what you might hear from people who blame everything on some boogeyman somewhere, the real boogeyman is and always has been us, the United States of America, the Central Intelligence Agency and whomever supports that organization. From an extra governmental standpoint, I don't think it's anybody in the U.S. government. I don't know if it's even somebody in the U.S., frankly. They've been at the wheel for a minimum of 70 years. As soon as World War II ended, they've been guiding us in the wrong direction. They've been stealing our money. And, a lot of it actually started in the early 1930s, before we even entered the war. We've seen new documentation now that shows that FDR and his this great American hero FDR and his fucking compatriots extended the negative impacts of the Great Depression so they could remain in power, right? We've seen evidence of this now as well. All this stuff has been going on for a very, very long time. This guy who had the first president ever to even think about running for a third term.
Huh? No, that's not true. But he was the first one that won.
He was the first one that even came close to winning.
Yeah, because Teddy ran for a third term.
Teddy ran for the Bull Moose Party.
Yes.
Like, come on, man. That wasn't serious.
And then Grant wanted to run for a third term, but the Republicans were like, we're good.
Yeah. And there's no one else has ever even come close.
It's just FDR.
Except for that guy. You can track down this policy. If you can find it on Twitter, actually, the direct line between him being reelected over and over, and us leaving those ships out there to maybe get hit by Japan and all this other stuff. There's a lot of stuff that's been going on. So it's actually been going on technically since before World War II even started and the OSS was even developed. But American intelligence was already happening at that point. We were running all sorts of operations back then. And, you got to, there's a couple of books you could read about the history of the U.S. intelligence community. The one that I would recommend that's probably going to give you the most context for this specific release is called The Devil's Chessboard by David Talbot. Highly recommend reading that book. I was kind of hoping by the time these files came out, he would still be active and able to write a second volume with all the new information, but he had a huge stroke 2 years ago, so that's not going to happen. But hopefully somebody will pick the ball up and move it along. But this whole thing that it's the Jews is such a low-frequency dipshit take on all of this. It's so stupid. Blaming the Jews for this stuff is like men blaming women for the state of modern society. You're the man. You are the leader.
Yep.
You're the one that allowed this to happen. America's the leader of all of these operations, literally every single one of them. We're at the fucking top of it, every single one. We use Jewish people and Israeli military intelligence and Russians and Saudi Arabians and fucking anybody that's a dissident in any country we go into to rabble-rouse and start problems that because they're convenient partners and convenient scapegoats. But all of this has always been the Central Intelligence Agency, the U.S., the OSS, NSA, so on and so forth. Anybody that's involved in those organizations and anybody that sits above them, whatever that organization or structure happens to be, they're the ones that are the fucking problem. That's it. This whole thing comes down to them. And until we stop focusing on fucking stupid boogeyman stories and bullshit like that and look in to our own fucking government and our own organization, we'll never find the real culprits for any of this shit.
I agree, and I've never subscribed to that narrative about the Jews. I always thought it was fucking bullshit. And same with Russia, this Russia shit for every single
Well, the KGB
thing.
was 100% involved in clipping JFK too. That begs the question, if our entire intelligence apparatus, and this is true, by the way, the civilian version of our intelligence apparatus developed and evolved as a result of our fucking strained relationship with Russia, right? But it seems like the entire time they were fucking working with the Russians.
That's what I'm saying.
The entire goddamn time. It's all been illusory. It's all been bullshit.
Yes. And that's what I got out of these files too, is like, hey man, we've built this Russian boogeyman up forever. If you knew back then it was the KGB and clearly helped out in this,
yeah, then we were fucking around with those guys. And what's the boogeyman aspect of this if we allowed this to happen? One of the biggest questions I get, and I'll ask you today, because I don't know this answer. I was talking to somebody we're working with for a loan for Hard AF Seltzer this morning. And he started listening to the show, and he goes, man, Dan's a really interesting guy. He goes, when did his distrust for the government start? And I said, you know what? I've never actually asked him that question before. When did it start for you?
The first time my parents told me because I said so. And that wasn't enough for me. Like, no, institutional power can't be unquestioned. It can't be, right? Like, that's not how we're built as human beings. Like, if you look back, forget about just the United States, but look back through the history of institutional power throughout all of human civilization. The people who were bad shut questioning down, and the people who were good both asked questions and were persecuted for it. Mm-hmm. And as soon as that clicked in my head, probably around 4 years old, I'm like, nah, fuck that. At no point will I ever trust this goddamn government.
So 4 years old is the answer?
Yes.
Okay. Interesting.
I'll keep that in mind when my kid asks me the same question 20 times in a row, and I'm just finally like, because I said so.
Yeah, because
Jesus Christ, just because I said so. Just please do it because I said so.
Yeah, but you can, that's a good thing you're doing for that kid to make him distrust the government. I would suggest one follow-up. Once they're able to contextualize it, make sure that you eat 40% of their lunch. Or if you buy, let's say, hey, you kids want to go get ice cream? Like, sure, okay, cool. Take 40% out of their scoop.
Dad tax.
Put it in yours.
Dad tax, yep.
It's like, what's this? I'm like, this is how government operates, son.
Yeah. I'm going to convince those kids, too, that Rob's actually compromised by Israel.
Well, I'm compromised by Iran. Can I also be compromised by Israel?
He's an Iranian spy,
Son
so
of a
can
bitch.
we?
I can't keep. I'm gonna have to hire somebody to keep up with all the fucking compromises.
I know.
My highest loyalties to the Vatican always. So.
Always, yeah. You're a Vatican guy through and through. Mine, let's see. It was a great question by this guy, and he was like, "What about you?" And I go, "Mine personally." I don't think it was until 2016, to be honest with you. I really never. Somebody else had asked me, like, "Hey, well, why do you guys, talk about politics and why do you know so much and whatever?" Started really paying attention then because of the stories that were going on. I think it was the BlackBerry stories with Hillary, when she turned in the BlackBerries that were all smashed up in the bag. Was when I knew kind of shit was wonky for me. But until then, I never really questioned anything or thought about it. I always thought the JFK thing, that the CIA did it. And I think that's why nobody's really talking about it, because we wanted to, obviously, at the top of our show. But this will go back to something that Bob said, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 months ago on this show, is will Americans actually care? And I think when you drop 80,000 pages like this worth of documents, no one read them. And everybody's looking for a shortcut on the answers, including like a Mark Cuban or somebody else. And everybody's looking for the Cliff Notes version of this, or something that is spelled out that it was like, okay, this was, John Hemsley Smith who pulled the trigger and did the thing and blah, blah, blah. I was happy to hear about the Gary Underhill guy. And at least that was in the documents and all that other stuff.
I mean, that's the OG. That's the original, like, he killed himself, and it's very obvious he didn't.
Right.
Like, nobody shoots himself with their non-dominant hand behind the ear. That's never happened in the history of guns or heads.
He was the original Epstein, you know? Minus the child molestation. No, but with that, I'm looking at all of this stuff here, and this story trended for 48 hours, Kennedy Files, and then it was gone.
Well, see, what happened was that people have believed all of this, most of it, for a very long time. Mm-hmm. That's part of the, I guess you could say, the slow roll release of conspiracies that are part of the agency's game plan. They do that shit all the time. They release little tidbits of information. I mean, right now, if even the Epstein thing, the fact that it came and went the way it did, that he fucking got clipped in prison, that Ghislaine Maxwell was convicted of trafficking people to no one in particular, right? Which has never fucking happened in the history of fucking courts. And then people were just like, oh man, that sucks. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, no, we should have burned the fucking White House to the ground at that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that would have been the appropriate response for human beings who actually care about what the fuck is going on in the country that they pay taxes to. Like, you guys ran an operation that literally used children sexually to blackmail people so you could control things. Like, man. That's the thing that brings a country down.
Yeah.
But everybody, because it was released over the course of 10, 15 years, right? Then it's like, guess it's on to the next thing.
Yeah,
You know
it's
what I
weird,
mean?
right?
But that's how human psychology works, and they're really good at this.
Really good at this. And I think MLK Files will be the same way. Those will come out. We'll learn that it wasn't that guy. Shit, my dad interviewed him in prison. Bob, what's his name who shot MLK? It's always a 3-name guy.
Yeah, it is. Oh, come on.
Are we all that dumb? You
James
host a
Earl
history
Ray.
show. There you go, James Earl Ray. I've got signed letters from him at my house. They're in a safe and all that stuff. Writing back and forth with my father before the interviews and all the other stuff. I think the same thing will happen there too. I think they'll release those files, find out the government was involved. I don't think we'll be shocked. Will you?
No, I mean, it wouldn't be. Look, how shocked would you be to hear that the FBI, who was literally sending him letters telling him to kill himself, actually just killed him?
Yeah.
Which we already know.
Yeah, like we already know that.
Right. And so I think that'll be a 2-day story.
Yeah.
I think black people know it already. So it's if you're, trying to gain some votes or something else. Like I love the transparency of all this, and I think it's great. And I think all this should be released. I think the MLK thing will be another 2-day story as well. And then, our government did it. Move on to the next one.
The MLK files are going to have problems for other reasons.
Well,
So
but Bob, some of those files were already released, and I read them. Did you happen to take a peek to see any of those?
What, the sex stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I remember we talked about it on the show.
We did, yes.
That is going to... People, like, to Dan's point about people, like, you shouldn't trust the government or whatever the fuck. People are going to start, black activists especially, I imagine, but white liberals as well, going to start assuming that this is a government hit job on MLK and not want to believe that and wonder how much of that is bullshit.
Maybe, yeah, but I think we're in this is a really important time in American history. A lot of things, there have been a lot of dominoes that have fallen over the past several years. Little moments like what we were talking about with Sheriff Bianco yesterday, these little moments that have, moved the football down the field a little bit or woken people up a little at a time. The overtaxation, the realization, and no matter how closed off they are from reality sometimes, the realization that liberals feel when they go to pay their health insurance and it's unaffordable.
Yeah.
Or when they lose their doctors, or when they look at their gas and food prices, they're like, what the fuck? And they hear the media telling them that it's not true. I think a lot of this stuff is waking people up. I think we're in a really important moment in American history where distrust, not dissatisfaction, but distrusting government has never been higher amongst all groups.
Yes.
And it's an opportunity for all of you to take advantage of, to go to your neighbor who you may disagree with and be like, hey, the government's fucked.
Yeah.
Is it not?
Yep.
Let's talk about the ways that the government is fucked and share that. And let's make that our new rally point, our new intellectual rally point, in the same way that our founders did. They felt they had a sense of pride. We are English citizens. We deserve to be treated right by the English courts. That's what they said. You can't tax us without representation. You're taking our representation away. You're trying to dissolve the Continental Congress. You won't let us adjudicate our own legal cases anymore, so on and so forth. That was the real complaint. And we're in a position like that again now. The only difference is the government is here in this country, right? That's the only difference. And, certainly, I don't think Trump is part of all that. I think he's trying to clean it up. But you see the battle he's fighting.
Oh, it's intense.
These judges are in somebody's pocket, 100%. Most of these people in Congress, like Chris Murphy, who we'll talk about here in a second, are in somebody's pocket, probably Soros or somebody like that. We're using these countries where we conduct warfare as in the same way that Al-Qaeda used Afghanistan, right, under the control of the Taliban to set up their camps, to train, to plan their operations. The United States uses Ukraine. The United States uses fucking Syria and wherever the fuck else we're deployed to all the time to foment whatever the fuck we want to do, right? That's how it works. That's how it works.
And it's been going on for 7 years.
Like it should come as no surprise that Thomas Crooks, one of the guys that tried to clip the president, had direct ties or had all these international accounts. It should surprise no one that the second guy that was at the golf course has direct ties to fucking Ukraine. That should be of no surprise to you. This is exactly how the CIA works.
Matthew Thomas Crooks was that kid.
The first one,
Yeah.
He had like multiple different devices with all sorts of international accounts on them and stuff like that. Odd for a fucking weird 19-year-old or whatever the fuck. And then this old dude who's just a career agitator, basically. He's a USAID employee, downstream probably 3 or 4 levels of separation, but he's probably been doing this shit his entire adult life. And why the fuck does a guy like that have direct connections to intelligence operations in Ukraine, and then he comes back and tries to kill our president? It's because they fucking started it and they hired him to do it, period.
That's it.
Right?
That's it. Bob, I text you our first sponsor here. I text you some of the bets. If you can pop those up on screen, it'd be great because it's going on now. We're going long today, dude. Let's fucking do it, man.
I have no idea.
I love it. Me neither, man.
I mean, I do have...
my kids are on spring break with my wife.
I'm going to eat 1.5 pounds of ground beef tonight.
Yeah, same here.
Holy shit.
Whoa. What?
Whoa. What's going on? What's going on?
McNeese right now?
Yes, I've got McNeese.
Is up on Clemson, 31-13.
Great. I've got McNeese
Clemson,
in all my brackets.
31-13, damn.
I've got him in all my
Scored
brackets.
13 points in the first half.
Perfect.
Oh, boy.
Yes, I've got McNeese State in all my brackets. McNeese nuts. I said it yesterday.
I don't think Clemson's offense is explosive enough to come back from that.
They're not.
Their best player is their center.
Yeah. No, they're fucked. We are brought to you today by MyBookie.com. Promo code Drinkin Bros doubles that first deposit all the way up to $1,000. Get off the couch and get into the action today with MyBookie.com. All right. If you're on Drinkin Bros Sports on Facebook, it's a private group. Anybody can sign up. It's free. Just don't report anything and don't be a fucking asshole about it. But I post all my bet slips in there the day before. So I'm going to run through them with you here because my bookie's got awesome teasers. They got parlays, and then you can just bet straight up on the line or take the money line, and I'll go through it with you here. So, Bob, this first one, pop that up on screen there. Yeah. This is a teaser. So it lets you take 5 points off either way. You can either knock it down 5 points or up 5 points. First team here was Creighton. Knocked that all the way up to 8. They won today. Auburn, I took down from 32.5 to 27.5. What is the score of the Auburn game?
They're only up 10 at the half. That one's looking a little rough.
Oof. So they got to outscore by 20 in the second half, right? And then I got BYU, Tennessee, the Johnnies in there. That's a big bet. Go to the next one there, if you will. These, I believe, were all money line bets, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And so far, so good in this one, 2 for 2 there to start off the day. What does that pay off at? $2,100.
Yes.
It's going to come down to Missouri tonight.
You're all
Bob,
good.
no pressure.
You're all good.
All right. It's a money line bet. Go to the next one. Took Wisconsin straight up at minus 16.5 for 150. That won.
Houston covered easy.
Houston covered, so that's a winner. Auburn is halftime there.
32.5 is going to be a tall order,
We'll
I think.
see. The second half, they might come alive. They score a lot of points. Go to the next one.
It's the second half.
Louisville, I lost. All right. Purdue, I won, so I'm 3 out of 4 on those bets today. BYU, Auburn, and Texas Tech, TBD on that one. Auburn's in the second half there. Did it just start, Delco?
Up 11, 3 minutes in.
They got to pick it up.
Yeah, I don't think they're covering.
They got to pick it up. We'll find out towards the end of the show. But all the bets are in, as well as our brackets. If you got those into Bob earlier here in the week, $2,500 will go to our Drinkin Bros listeners in those brackets. If you sign up to the free tournament on Facebook, you're getting a signed Hakeem Olajuwon jersey this year, which is fun. But, man, this is the funnest time of the year to gamble on March Madness and MyBookie.com. Also, you can take the live line on these. So let's say you didn't believe in that 32.5 for Auburn. At halftime, that probably shrunk down to 23, 22, somewhere in that neighborhood. And then that's where that lives. So, yeah, I've been live lining a lot of shit. I love it, man. I can't wait to get home tonight and watch those late games while everybody's sleeping. Pop some money on these things. Best time of the year to gamble. Turn your side hustle into a little bit of pocket change, okay?
Current live line is 25.5 for Auburn.
So they think they're going to do it. They
they're
think they're going to come back.
now.
There you go.
Not cover 32, but yeah.
We'll see. We'll see by the end of the show. I think they'll do it, by the way. Just a guess.
Okay.
Just a guess. So go to mybookie.com. Enter that promo code Drinkin Bros. Double that first deposit all the way up to $1,000. You can already bet on next year's national championships in football, Super Bowl, all that stuff. And Heisman Trophy is already up there as well. Next up, I want to do that Egypt story.
Let's do this one first, and then we'll go to Egypt.
Okay, perfect.
Because this one relates to the other one.
Okay.
So Chris Murphy, who's I don't know if he's gay or not, but Gary confirmed what I've been saying for years, this old study that you can tell gay by looking at their face. Pull up a picture of Chris Murphy right quick while I read this.
Bob, pull up a picture of Chris Murphy.
So right now,
where were you going, dude? No.
He's refusing to
No water for
address reports that he's romantically involved with a former Democratic political operative who runs a Soros-funded media network. Murphy, who recently announced separation from his wife after nearly 2 decades together, was recently photographed having a cozy dinner with Tara McGowan, the founder and publisher of Courier Newsroom, who is like Soros-funded progressive media group that says they're independent journalists, basically.
Wait, we got a picture here.
Yeah.
So you're saying gay or straight? I've never seen this guy.
Just look at his face.
Soft features.
There's
Gay.
no way he's straight.
gay. This guy's gay.
Yeah.
He's homosexual.
So, I mean, the rumor mill is that he's divorced his wife and now he's hooking up with this chick. But the reality is he's a deep state operative and she's his fucking point of contact. Because that dude right there, put him back up there. Yeah. This dude with those eyes don't look at butts that belong to females.
Sure don't.
They look at wieners that belong to men.
Yes.
You understand?
This guy is a homosexual male.
At any rate, so he refused comment, obviously, after being photographed hanging out with his broad. She is a longtime Democratic Party operative, worked for Obama's re-election campaign, and then served in top positions at Priorities Action, USA, a Democratic super PAC, and Acronym, a Democratic-focused digital advocacy group. These are all funded, obviously, by Soros. The Murphy Tide strategist founded Courier Newsroom, which I mentioned before. That's completely that and Fund for Policy Reform are both advocacy groups for George Soros. They're all funded by his organization. In 2021, Gabby Deutsch, who the Washington Post described as, quote, the Washington correspondent for NewsGuard, a New York-based nonpartisan organization that reviews news sites to combat misinformation, penned an op-ed criticizing Courier Newsroom as a, quote, political operation and argued it is exploiting the widespread loss of local journalism to create and disseminate something we really don't need, hyper-local partisan propaganda. So this is another probably CIA-linked operation, if I had to guess.
Okay.
They've been doing, like, we know that the CIA, via the USAID, paid for all these local journalism places all over the world. I think, what was it, like 11 of the 13 Ukraine media outlets?
Yeah, it was nuts,
Print and digital media were fucking funded by USAID. They just been doing it in the U.S. as well. This is what I'm saying. All this boogeyman shit that points outward to other people infiltrating our government, nope. It's been us. It started here and fucking runs through here.
Yeah.
It runs through here. Stop eschewing fucking responsibility for this. This is our fucking problem. Yeah, they got multiple grants totaling $5 million in 21 and 22 to, quote, support its nonpartisan journalism, which aims to further the common good and general welfare in U.S. communities by providing access to information. This is like the Inflation Reduction Act. Has nothing to do with reducing inflation, right?
Sure.
It's like one of these Washington tricks where you name something fancy and it sounds good.
Yeah.
It's like, I love America bill, and it burns down America.
Oh, you mean the Patriot Act?
Yes,
Yeah.
the USA Patriot Act is the best. By the way, do you know that USA Patriot part of that is an acronym?
No.
Yeah.
What does it stand for?
So they put it into like a word finder or something.
Oh, God.
I don't remember what it stands for, and I don't give a shit.
Jesus Christ.
So McGowan was also in close quarters with Biden's administration, visiting the Biden White House 20 times just in April of last year alone. 20 times.
Fuck.
So if you're wondering how dozens of Democrats have the exact same script all the time now, right?
Yep.
And if you're wondering...
Same talking points.
Yeah, if you're
same
wondering
everything.
how they have the same Even this past week, they changed it up a little bit with the "in this moment" thing, but they still use the phrase. They use the same appositive phrase in every single one of them.
Oh, yeah.
If you're wondering how a district court thinks they have power over the executive branch, if you're wondering how all this money has gone nowhere in particular, where the fuck did it go? If you're wondering how these people stayed in power for decades at a time, it's because they own the media and they own your ass.
Sure do.
The question is, does Soros run the top-level organization, or as I mentioned before, is there something or someone higher than that, right? Because it seems unlikely that you would so publicly expose your leader like that. I don't think it's Soros. I think there's something else. I think it's super old money. I think it's the Rockefellers. I think it's the Vanderbilts. I think it's the Bushes. I think it's all these people.
Well, according to Anderson Cooper, and I caught his doc. I don't know if you caught it.
I don't want to catch anything from Anderson Cooper.
Well,
he's got
I
AIDS.
understand. Yeah, but
Well, I don't think he's got AIDS. Actually.
Allegedly,
Maybe he does.
No, we're kidding. We don't. I don't.
I hope he doesn't.
Normal,
Actually.
but
He seems like an alright guy.
no, but with him, he claims, and maybe you'll have some more insight on this, and Bob, you might too, if you guys have ever covered the Vanderbilts, that the generation before him went bankrupt and they got nothing. So that whole Vanderbilt bloodline is dead.
Yeah,
That's what
they
he
went
says.
broke, but like they're not like rich anymore.
And that's what Anderson Cooper says.
That's probably not true.
Well, in this documentary, he goes to see his mother, and he's visiting his mother, and it looks like a rich-ass fucking Vanderbilt house. Now, Anderson Cooper is rich because he was making, roughly $18 million a year from CNN. So, like, he actually is rich, but who installed him on the network as a Vanderbilt back in the day? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, he
certainly had to help.
I mean, the name got him into the universities he went to.
Yes.
And,
His
that
mom.
That and being a gay leftist will get you into the media. You don't need anybody else.
I mean, yeah, like he's a rich guy who went to Yale. Like you go, if like a lot of these people that, and Ross, you probably know this to an extent, just being having gone to NYU, and I'm sure meeting a lot of Ivy League people. Like you go to these schools, you just get jobs.
Yep. And a lot of the kids that I went to school with were from like rich families of like, fuck man. God, who was the wine girl? There was a wine girl that I went out with once on one date, and one of those famous wineries, and it was like, Jesus Christ. But they were making her go to school to learn about wine, and then she was going to take over the vineyard. And it was one of the massive ones, Mondavi. That's it. So Sabrina's her name. I don't. Fuck, man. I know that. I don't know anything else in this life. That's weird. But with that, you go to school, and I'm going to use that in air quotes there, to learn about wine. You take over the vineyard. You maintain the richness, and then it goes down the family and everything else. So yeah, I don't think that ever stopped with Cooper, right? And the Vanderbilt shit, probably.
No, I mean, the rumor is, I guess if you want to call it a rumor, it's not really a rumor, but the reporting is that they blew a lot of their fortune. I mean, the second generation, I can't remember what the guy's name was. The Commodore was the first one, whatever the fuck weirdo's name was.
Cornelius.
Yeah, Cornelius. And then his son, I think it was Henry maybe, his son was worth $200 million, or billion, $200 billion at the time, which in modern currency is $5 trillion. There's no fucking way that they blew it, because the word on the street is, or the thing that people say is that, oh yeah, a lot of real estate and extravagant parties and blah blah blah. Nobody spent $5 trillion on it. This isn't spending Brewster's Millions, motherfucker. That's not real. None of that shit happened. Certainly, people wasted a lot of fucking money. There's no question about that. But if you spent good trying to spend that amount of money without any assets to show for it, like, fuck off. It's like, oh, they spent a bunch of money on their mansions. Like, yeah, those are still mansions, and they're worth money. You idiot. Yeah. Now, Gloria, who is Anderson's mom, when she died, I think she was worth $200 million, which I assume he's now worth that amount. Well, he's worth 50 on his own. Yeah. But I assume that he got that money, too. I don't know who else it would have gone to.
I never look at those net worth sites. They're never right.
No one's ever, like, liquid that. Like, everything's just based on what they, like, their companies or, like, what is tied to them.
Real estate, things like that, yeah. But still, money's money at the end of the day, and if you decide to get out, you get out.
But I imagine, like, the Vanderbilts are much like Russ Hanneman in Silicon Valley, where they're they're like, we're not really rich anymore. We're not part of the 3 comma club.
Right.
And they're just sad.
I 100% agree. I think their definition of rich is not even close to ours.
Okay, so
friends.
The Vanderbilt family still owns. It's technically owned and operated by a museum, but I think they still have ownership in it. The Breakers in Newport, and it's worth $500 million.
Jesus Christ.
The Biltmore Estate.
Oh yeah,
is still owned by them.
They own the Biltmore.
Yeah, and it is. I don't even know how much that's worth. To be honest, but
Hundreds
and hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars the Biltmore Estate is worth. I just don't like this. It's all nonsense.
I just wonder if it's still them.
No, it's still them.
It is.
They own the Biltmore Estate. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe Delco, to answer your question, like $3 billion was awesome, and then now they're down to 2. Something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
but that's why that doc didn't do well, was because everybody was like, man, I'm just not buying into this bullshit that you guys lost all your money in the 1920s or whatever.
Now we're getting lost in the weeds a little bit here. The point is that, and maybe the Vanderbilts are involved, maybe they're not. I don't know about that. I don't know about specific families. I would assume that the Bush family's involved because they've been rich and in the intelligence organization since Prescott in the early part of the 20th century.
And all of them are politicians. Jeb W., his father, and then wasn't there another brother?
Prescott.
Yes. Yeah.
He's Jeb's son.
Yes.
With the Mohican lady.
Yep.
He's somewhere in Texas doing Texas politics. Allegedly, well, he was. I don't know if he got elected to anything or not. But the point of this is this very, very old money that is wrapped up in U.S. intelligence. Remember that the U.S. intelligence apparatus, it didn't start from the military. It started from the Ivy League universities, right? Like military intelligence went into the military intelligence and the FBI walked into all the Ivy League schools and started recruiting people out of Skull and Bones and so on and so forth because they came from good families and blah, blah, blah. And part of it was smart. They're smart people. Not all of them, actually. There's a lot of dipshits. Like George W. Bush is a fucking idiot, right? Yeah. He's not smart. But that first generation were probably all mostly smart guys. And because of their family connections and wealth, you can put them in a Saudi Arabia as an oil executive, right? Because that makes sense for them to be there. It doesn't make sense for Hunter Biden to be there.
Sure.
But it makes sense for them to be there. So in a way, it made sense. But what it developed into was a fucking... a combination of military, intelligence, and wealth oligarchy that has run this country for 100 years. And all we do is point to everybody else. From the neocon side, to include the fucking modern left, right? The neocons and the modern left. Oh, Russia's evil. Russia's our boogeyman. Russia can't defeat fucking Ukraine. I don't want to hear about fucking Russia, man.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, the fucking far right side and the far left side, conveniently enough, it's all Israel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, you people are fucking stupid.
It's all a fucking shell game at the end of the day here. And which country do you believe is trying to fuck us? And then you open it and it's us. At the end of the day, it's just us and all this shit. Next up, AdWise, AmericanFinancing.net/Drinkin Bros. Called them this morning. Chatted with them this morning. Trying to get more money for Hard AF Seltzer. We have sold, by the way, I looked at the numbers this morning. For this month, 4,412 packs in the state of Texas.
Good Lord. They do
Michigan, by the way.
Yeah, just in Texas, by the way. They keep calling us like, hey, you got more of them Hard AFs. We're like, dude, you guys got to calm fuck down.
I mean, and so they just placed another order for 1,000 cases yesterday, but like,
I'm not going to complain.
I'm not either. However, trying to keep up with the cans, that's what all this money's for. It's not for marketing. It's just trying to scale and grow. But Michigan was the shocker too. 2,212 packs consumed last month. Michigan people fucking drink.
Well, I mean,
Nothing else to do,
to be fair, especially in like the Detroit area where you've got to have a couple for the. You
know what our 3 leaders are? So it's Ohio, Michigan right now, and Texas.
Yeah,
Texas is obvious. So there's 30 million people here.
I've got a math riddle for you. Ready?
Oh.
Ready? How do you turn a 2 into a 10?
Oh.
Add 8.
Boom. Look at that. You got to add that 8%.
You add 8%, and that 2 becomes a 10. That's how math works. And that's especially how math works in Michigan.
There it is, dude. You got to turn those 2s into 8s.
And I blame that
10s
joke
up there with an 8%.
I blame that joke on Michael Raymond James. Who
you should.
At every opportunity tells me that the women from University of Michigan are not the best.
And that's his school, by the way.
Yeah. And it is his school, yeah. He loves it. So,
but I got money on Michigan tonight, so I hope you guys win.
Yeah, me too.
But with AmericanFinancing.net, what they do, if you're a homeowner out there, they take equity out of your house, and then they give it to you to help you cut down on, let's say it's credit cards or you need other stuff. Like for us, man, I was like, hey, can you take it out of the fucking property here, and so we can make some more cans and get that all ramped up. Because they're flying off the shelves with this Jolly Ranchers. So I talked to Ryan this morning over at AmericanFinancing.net/Drinkin Bros. And I said, hey, dude, I want to use my own fucking site again. And he goes, great, let me help you out. These guys are super easy to get a hold of. They're great. And look, prices over the last 4 years have sucked. Everybody's been reaching for credit cards and shit. If you're trying to pay off a credit card, the interest is like 23 to 27% usually. Some people have it at like 20. Congratulations for you. But not a lot of people. If you take equity out of your house and pay this shit off, you'll get it at whatever that interest rate is, which is right around 6.5 right now. So that's what we're trying to do. That's what this company does. American Financing is a family-owned company. It's been around for 25 years. Mortgage consultants are salary-based, so there's no incentive for them to put you in a loan that doesn't make any sense. And their customers save on average about $800 a month when you call them and ask for help. They don't charge any upfront or hidden fees, which is why I've used these guys 3 times in the past. And, just to see how much you can save, they'll just tell you. And you might be able to close in as fast as 10 days also. This is a big one. You might be able to delay 2 mortgage payments, creating more savings up front, which is what we're trying to do, because that way it'll stretch out, because these cans take about 6 weeks for us to make. So that's why that's a big deal here. They've helped hundreds of thousands of people. You can check out their Google reviews. They're awesome. We've used them 3 times. Right now, it's tax season. Everybody's trying to get their financial house in order. I'm telling you, you're probably looking at those credit cards going, dude, how the fuck do I lower this APR? This is probably the only way to do it, to be honest with you. So check out AmericanFinancing.net/Drinkin Bros or call 866-887-2275 to learn how homeowners are saving $800 a month on average. NMLS 182334 at www.nmlsconsumeraccess.org. Bob puts all of these links in the audio and video description. Bob, is it on the YouTube today?
Yeah.
Good. And again, great problems to have here across the board, because you guys love the product and you're drinking so much. But Michigan, that's why you're raising so much money so fast. It's like, dude, Michigan was a shocker to me. How many people live there?
7.
That's what it feels like, right?
That's a lot.
Bob, what's the population
It's a swing
of Michigan?
state.
It's over 10 million for sure.
Okay, but look it up. Because I looked up Washington, because the Washington DBs are trying to get us to open up Washington. And I was surprised. Washington's got 8.7 million people. That's a lot.
10.1 million.
Okay.
Why did you say it's definitely over 10 million when it's 10.1?
10.1, yeah.
That's definitely over 10 million.
Yeah, it is. But
It
you didn't
is,
know that.
but you didn't know that before you looked it up.
I felt confident
No.
based on the amount of electoral votes they have.
You
Yeah.
were bluffing, and it just happened to work out. That's what happened. You get no credit for that.
0.
Piece of
Is
shit.
there give him the horror button there. You know which one it is, Delco.
I'm going to award him a round of applause.
No.
See, now
No, he did not get it right.
now we're facing our own.
Did get it right.
We're
Yeah,
facing
well,
our own
on
insurrection.
accident.
We're facing our own insurrection now.
This is like a math teacher
No.
yelling at you for not showing your work
You
when they got the
fucked us.
question right.
You fucked us. How did he fuck us, Delco? How hard did Bob fuck us on this
He
one?
got it pretty right.
There's a
got
button
it
up
on the
there.
button.
Delco,
You can play that
God,
one.
I
It brings
am
me
teeing
joy.
these up for you.
It
I mean,
brings
just
me joy.
teeing these up for
I
you,
don't
Delco.
like doing it when you're asked for it.
Jesus Christ, dude. Again, I'm just a podcasting school.
It kind of
Just a
defeats the
101,
purpose of
dude.
the button. It's to make you grossed out.
No.
You asking for it, it's
doesn't.
just nobody wants that.
We do now.
Look at
Bob
that.
fucked
So,
us.
so what you're saying is that consent's not important to you.
Not for Ross, no.
Well,
Okay.
not
If
for
anything,
Diddy either.
consent ruins it.
Yeah, exactly. Not for Diddy either. Now you set me up on that one. That was
Well.
easy. Next up, Trump violates the Fourth Amendment. Huh?
Let's do the. Let's do.
No,
the,
we're there. I've already said it. Too late.
Okay.
One of President Donald Trump's day one executive orders designated, certain international cartels as foreign terrorist organizations, a classification that, according to the State Department, plays a critical role in our fight against terrorism. and is an effective means of curtailing support for terrorist activities and pressuring groups to get out of the terrorism business. To that end, the U.S. Department of Treasury's Finance Crimes Enforcement Network announced a new rule cracking down on cash transactions this week, but only in certain geographical regions. No matter the administration's intent to target cartels, the rule will expand into government surveillance for all of its citizens. So is that what you're referring to?
That's right, yeah. So,
because Dan, you write the news every week.
Yeah, so FinCEN, as it's called, Financial Center, blah, 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 for enforcement, or Crimes Enforcement Network, issued a geographic targeting order, GTO, to further combat the illicit activities and money laundering of Mexico-based cartels and other criminal actors along the southwest border of the United States. The GTO requires all money service businesses, MSBs, located in 30 zip codes across California and Texas near the southwest border to file currency transaction reports, or CTRs, with FinCEN at a $200 threshold in connection with cash transactions. Scott Bessent, who's the Treasury Secretary, said the change, quote, underscores our deep concern with the significant risk to U.S. financial system of the cartels, drug traffickers, and other criminal actors along the southwest border. Now, federal law already requires banks as well as businesses that provide services like check cashing or currency exchange or anything like that to fill out CTRs as a means of protecting against illegal activity like money laundering. The threshold for that, as you all know, is $10,000. And anything under that is not categorized. Anything over is, right?
Okay.
And then there is some...
10K?
Yes.
Okay.
That's the threshold. And that's already part of... not the law, actually. It's a policy. It's not the law, I don't think. But right now, so and then there's some other stuff about if you're a broker, trader, currency exchanger, or bank, if somebody makes a bunch of repetitive, slightly sub $10,000 transactions, you're supposed to report that as well. Now, on to the good part. So this includes deposits, withdrawals, any combination of that. So if you were to put in 5 and take out 5, blah, 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 whatever, requires CTR, where the institution must collect and record personally identifying information from the client, like social security number, tax ID number. The reports are then sent to FinCEN. CTRs are different from suspicious activity report, or SARs, which are only triggered when a financial institution actively suspects the customer might be doing something illegal. That's when you get the slightly sub 10,000 repetitive things. That's an SAR.
Okay.
So the rule remains in effect for the rest of the country that it's 10,000. But if you live in one of these 30 zip codes that are on the border, anytime you go to the bank and deposit or withdraw $200 or more, the federal government looks into your bank account every single time without a fucking warrant. Every single time. This is unfucking constitutional.
So is this in effect right now?
Yes.
It is. Okay. I assumed it always was. That's why I asked. Because I went back to the $10,000 thing, and I'd heard that for a while. Reason being is like to bet on the ponies in real life. And also like to go to Vegas. And those are cash, right? We use MyBookie for digital because there's no gambling in the state of Texas. Also, they're trying to take weed away here. I mean, what the fuck? But that's neither here nor there. Every time that you win more than 10K, they'll usually drag you back there and sign the IRS form. So I just assumed this was going on for years. Is that not true?
At $10,000, yeah. Yeah, which is already a violation of the Fourth Amendment. And the Fourth Amendment is very clear. That illegal search and seizure is illegal, right? Without a warrant. In simple terms, the Fourth Amendment is designed to protect people from unreasonable government intrusion into their private lives, their homes, and their property, to include their fucking bank account. The government has no authority, no right to look into your fucking bank account.
I agree.
Whether you make a $200 transaction or a $200,000 transaction, none of your fucking business what I do with my fucking money.
Yeah.
All right? This is this is Trump's addition to the Patriot Act. That's what this is. It is unconscionable that somebody that comes in talking about government transparency and giving the rights back to the people would even fucking think of doing this shit. This is the worst thing he's done so far by a wide margin. Forget all the like continued support of Ukraine or Israel or shit that may have pissed you off so far. Pam Bondi and her incompetence. This is fucking bad. This is a direct assault on the Fourth Amendment for people in 30 zip codes who are already getting butt fucked by the government because they refused to secure the border for the last 30 goddamn years.
Yeah.
So if you lived in one of these if you lived in El Paso your whole life, El Paso is one of these zip codes, by the way.
They are? Okay.
If you've lived
I was
there,
just about to ask.
if you're a soldier at Fort Bliss, right? If you're a soldier there,
there's a ton,
or an airman there, and you fucking go to the strip club and take $200 out of the strip club ATM and go fucking throw it at whores or whatever the fuck you want to do that day, then the government's looking into your bank account. You're telling me that that's okay because it's Trump doing it? Fuck that and fuck him. Like, this is un-goddamn believable that these people are bullying this shit. And it's up to you people who support the guy to tell him it's wrong. It's up to you. The left isn't going to tell him it's wrong. It's your fucking job to do that.
And by the way, $200 isn't a lot of money.
No, it's not.
So, I mean, that's going to trigger everybody, right? I mean,
yeah.
Fuck, dude. It's rare that I go to an ATM. Maybe not always $200, but like, you know, it's always in the $200-300 range for the night or the day or the weekend or whatever it is. You know, if you're out with friends and all that other shit. So, yeah, this sucks, and it's not fucking great. So this is only in California and Texas. Why not Arizona, for example?
I don't know. They picked high traffic areas specifically, but it doesn't matter, right? Like, what if you live in the south side of Chicago and there's a lot of drug trafficking going on? Does the government have the right to look into your bank account because your neighbor sells drugs?
Right.
Fuck you. Fuck. I'm sick and tired of these fucking politicians using any excuse they can to spy on American citizens.
Yeah. And this will lead us right into our next sponsor here, which is Ridge Wallet, all right? This is where I keep all my cash, okay? In my Ridge Wallet. I got the old one up here, still sitting on the desk because I emptied it out. I used to carry a fucking huge leather fucking thing. Now I've got Ridge. So this is an interesting one because my wife bought it for me. She was the one who was just like, bro, I can't have you fucking walking around with that goddamn thing anymore, okay? She heard about it on Tim Dillon's show, so I'll give Tim Dillon a shout out for this. She heard about the Ridge Wallet, and so she got me one. It's fucking awesome, dude. I'm a big fan of it, man. And I was worried whenever you get one of these metal things, I was like, dude, it's going to rub off the back of the credit cards and all that other shit. No. It actually helps you keep them safe from, like, digital pot picketers. I didn't know that you could just scan somebody and grab their fucking cards. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Do you know that? Mm-hmm. I didn't know that. So, yeah, this Ridge fucking rocks the shit, dude. And I've had it now for, say, about 6 weeks now. And I'm surprised I didn't have this fucking thing earlier, but I also didn't know it existed. So, again, shout out to Tim Dillon on that one. I'll give you credit, not your fucking promo code, though. God damn it. And, yeah, it'll be in the video here as well. Bob, the link will be in the video. And it's great, man. It's unique, slim, modern design. Holds 12 cards plus cash. It's made with aluminum, titanium, and other carbon fiber. And all Ridge products have a lifetime warranty. That's it. Literally the rest of your life. It's the only wallet you'll ever need to buy. And plus, it'll give you peace of mind. Oh, it's RFID blocking technology is what it is. Keeping safe from digital pickpocketers. Over 100,000 five-star reviews. Losing your wallet is the worst. Also, Ridge has an AirTag attachment, so if you go to their sites, you can buy that as well to know where that is, which is unbelievably helpful. Man, I fucking panic every time I lose the goddamn thing. So that one's in the mail. I don't have that yet, full disclosure. And no matter what you pick from their sites over there, all Ridge has free shipping and a 99-day risk-free trial and a lifetime warranty on all their products. They've got, let's see, I was on their site the other day. They got key cases, suitcases, and they got rings too. So if you're looking for a ring, they got dope-ass rings as well. So right now, Ridge is having their once-a-year anniversary sale. Get up to 40% off at ridge.com/Drinkin Bros. Just head to ridge.com/Drinkin Bros to see their biggest sale of the year. After you purchase, they'll ask us where you heard about us. Please support the show and tell them that the Drinkin Bros sent you. I use the goddamn thing. So I love it, and thank you to Jesse for buying it for me. Because I just reached out to Ridge afterwards, and I was like, "Yo, if you're on his show, come on ours, man. I fucking love this goddamn thing." So it's great. But we test out all the products before we actually put them on air. Next up, which one was the one you wanted to do?
Let's go to ancient Egypt.
All right, let's do it.
Bob, go to. I want to watch this whole fucking video. It's 7 minutes long.
God.
But this is the craziest shit I've ever seen.
Now, what is this regarding here?
It's the Pyramid of Giza.
Okay.
And apparently there is a massive structure underneath it. Not a structure that was clearly built by somebody that's intelligent and knew more about engineering than even the people that built the pyramid knew.
Really?
Yes.
And how did they find this? Was this through the drones, the heat-seeking drones?
LiDAR and GPR, ground penetrating radar.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Bob, go to the Project Unity on Twitter, please. And it's probably his. I don't know.
I love this shit because I think
Now, that name is giving me Kyrie Irving vibes.
I know. I was gonna say, is this?
Well, the Celtics did just get purchased.
They
right?
did.
And
$6.1 billion. Big boy number there.
So basically, this guy's going to detail for you.
Now, what's his name?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Jay Anderson is his name. He's going to detail for you this discovery that's been made, which is that these massive structures, actually 2 different layers of massive structures that go down 2 kilometers below the pyramid.
Holy shit.
Yes. Below ground. It's fucking crazy. And it plays into
aliens.
We'll talk more about it. We don't know, right? So if you've seen Ancient Apocalypse with Graham Hancock, he's caught a lot of heat for some of this stuff for whatever reason. I don't know why, because everything he says is either documented or his own speculation, and let him speculate. You can speculate in the other direction if you want. But sometime 10 or 12,000 years ago, sometime in that range, there was a global flood, and it's probably the impetus for all the global flood myths that you see in all the religions and stuff. There's multiple. They're all over the world, right? Even in not organized. Like
this was built for a flood?
No.
Okay.
No, don't confuse the two. I'm just giving you backstory.
Okay.
So this global cataclysm happened 10 or 12,000 years ago, something like that. Like 10,000 BC, I think, is when they think it happened. And
it's the end of the Ice Age.
the end of the Ice Age. Yeah, that's it. For some reason, the Earth cooled down a lot rapidly, and then it heated up really rapidly and flooded the entire Earth because of all the ice, right? Not flooded the entire Earth. It became the sea level rose to what it is now, basically, right? And it wiped out civilizations all over the world. And then all of a sudden, around the same time, you should watch Ancient Apocalypse and the second season to get more information on this, and listen to the facts and parse the speculation however you choose. But all of a sudden, within the next 1,000 to 2,000 years after that, you started to see civilizations popping up all over the world that are using the same technology. They're building pyramids in South America, Central America, the United States, in Asia, and fucking Africa, all over the fucking world. Civilizations that could have never spoken to one another. There would be no modality of communication for them at that point. And they all tell a very similar story with different parts, which is that this race of giant white people showed up and taught them how to fucking rebuild their civilization, right? Like Nordic-looking fucking giants, basically. So probably Viking people, or their ancestors or something like that. And all of it goes back to kind of this premise that there was at least one, if not multiple, prehistoric, even prehistoric technological civilizations, people that were smart enough to build what you're about to see right here. And it's wild as fuck. There's been a couple of events over the past couple of years that have challenged everything we know about the history of human beings. One, we found a human in Europe way earlier than we thought we should have, right? And then we just found a human that's like 300,000 years old.
Yes, we did that story, a week ago?
A couple weeks ago, yeah. So, like, everything we know about human history on this planet is fucking wrong. Everything we know. And that explains why these people are coming so hard after Graham Hancock, because he's just like, yeah, you guys are all wrong. And they're like, oh, we wrote books. Like, oh, sorry, you use them for kindling, dude. You're wrong. And here you go. This is the next one.
Aliens.
I am struggling to express in words just how significant of a discovery this is. What has just been announced in relation to the pyramids at the Giza Plateau and the plateau itself is so incredible, so awe-inspiring and narrative-shattering that I have been sitting here for the last hour trying to wrap my head around the implications of what we were just told. So this is pretty much breaking news because the new findings were announced on the 16th of March at a press conference held by the team who was studying the Great Pyramid of Giza with a non-invasive technology that was first developed by Filippo Bionde and Corrado Malanga called synthetic aperture radar Doppler tomography. So this was used to explore the internal structure of the Great Pyramid of Giza. And this method leverages the analysis of micro movements typically generated by background seismic activity to achieve a high resolution full 3D tomographic imagery of the pyramid's interior and subsurface components. The recent findings from deploying this technology are nothing short of mind-blowing, because what's been discovered is that there are huge structures coming down from the base of the pyramid deep into the bedrock, in fact over 600 meters deep, which then connects to structures that extend up to 2 kilometers below the surface of the ground. 2 kilometers. Massive internal structures connected to the base of the pyramid and extending deep, deep down. This is what we know so far. Utilizing high-resolution radar images from Capella Space and Umbra, which are 2 private companies that specialize in satellite-based synthetic aperture radar imaging. This has allowed researchers to create a 3D model of the internal structure of the Great Pyramid of Giza. Now, this model has revealed a previously unknown chamber with 5 horizontal levels and a sloping roof, which in of itself is an architectural design unlike any previously documented in the Giza Pyramid. But the most shocking discovery lies beneath the surface, below ground level. Radar tomography has identified vertical cylindrical structures extending for hundreds of meters beneath the pyramid. There are 8 of these cylindrical wells arranged in 2 parallel rows, descending to an astonishing depth of 648 meters. Even more intriguing, at the base of these structures are 2 massive cubic formations measuring approximately 80 meters in diameter. The tomographic data suggests that these are vertical wells with intricate spiral pathways. Now, this design not only implies a functional purpose, but also a level of sophisticated engineering that completely blows the dynastic Egyptian model out of the water. I mean, the pyramid itself was already a massive red flag in the ancient Egyptian historical narrative. But now, with this discovery, I think it's become impossible to say that the Egyptian civilizations that we understand, that we've been taught about, were responsible for building these structures. And it doesn't even end there. The radar analysis extends beneath the entire Giza Plateau, revealing interconnected structures beneath not only the Great Pyramid of Giza, but also those of Khufu and Menkaure. The subsurface network reaches down to a staggering depth of approximately 2 kilometers. 2 kilometers. This is not possible, given the standard historical and archaeological narrative given to us about ancient Egypt. Now, I'm hearing that there is more to come. There is a 4-hour presentation that's going to be released by the research team. This is what I'm hearing. That's going to go into every detail of their findings. This has essentially been a strategic release of incredible data ahead of time to get people interested. And I am more interested in this than basically anything else right now, because this is by far the most provocative piece of evidence for not only a potential technological explanation for the purpose of the Giza complex, but it also provides the most extraordinary evidence for a pre-flood era civilization that was flourishing in a way that we can scarcely comprehend. It's also possible that this spiraling cylindrical series of structures are staircases. And I can't help but think of the channeled writings of Thoth the Atlantean, you know, the Emerald Tablets, speaking of a lost hall of records, a sacred hall of knowledge below the Giza Plateau, the halls of Amenti, Could this be the lost Hall of Records from the pre-flood era? Now, obviously, this discovery is extremely controversial. It runs as a complete contradiction of the established narratives and status quo in mainstream academia on these issues. This will cause big waves throughout the academic and the wider world if they can fully evidence these findings. But the results so far seem pretty clear. There is obviously significant structural engineering taking place deep below the pyramids and the Giza Plateau in general. Has this changed your mind on the pyramids? Has this strengthened your position on what they might have been? Has this new discovery given you any new ideas about what the implications are? Let me know in the comment section below, and honestly, everyone, share this far and wide. This is such interesting stuff. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll just have to see where this goes, because rest assured, I'll be keeping a very close eye.
Bob, pause it right there on that picture, or scroll back, turn the audio off, and scroll back and find a picture of the one that shows the underground structure as well. A little bit forward from there. I think, yeah, right there. There we go. All right, so
so just give me the heights in American.
That is so from the base where the blue part at the top starts to the bottom of those two giant cubes is 2 kilometers. Now, somebody in the chat asked, I think it was Harlan.
How long is 2 kilometers in feet?
What?
In feet, how long is that?
It's 2,000 meters.
Okay, so what are you looking at? A mile?
Like 6,000 feet, so over a mile.
Over a mile.
Yeah.
So these are a mile fucking deep.
Yeah.
God damn,
Yeah,
dude.
so-
that sounds more impressive, by the way.
Well, so
for Americans.
somebody in the chat, I think it was Harlan, said, "What if the ground was lower back then?" Due to tectonic movement since the formation of the pyramids, or not formation, but since the pyramids were built about 4,500 years ago, the ground level has risen about 90 meters total, right? Because of
Again, you're using British bullshit here, dude. You know, and I don't like it. It's about 100 feet.
No, that's not even close. 90 meters is about a football field. About 100 meters.
Oh, 100 yards then, yeah. All right.
Boy.
Yeah, dude. American shit.
No. So to do the reverse math on that, for it to have risen this much, that means this structure was built 93,000 years ago. Now, I don't think that's true, but maybe it is. It seems more likely that this was buried in the ground than it was 93,000 years old. We don't even have any evidence of human beings moving around other than in like small packs that far back.
Sure.
And hiding in caves and shit like that. Maybe it's true, but I mean, look at this thing. It looks like some people speculate that this was some underground chamber and that those are staircases, those spirals. I don't know if they were planning on looking into this shit either. Like, I seriously doubt the Egyptian government's going to let them dig it up, because it's literally under the Pyramid of Giza. As a matter of fact, these structures exist under the smaller pyramids next to it as well.
Okay.
The same kind of structure. Now, so some people think there's a chamber down there with something going on, and those are staircases. Some people think this is some kind of energy generating device. I think Ian Crossland from Tim Plummer, Ian.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be in Austin sometime mid-April.
Hit him up.
Yeah,
Get him on the show.
I'll see him next Friday. I'm going to ask him to come when he's here and do the show
great.
so we can talk about this more. But this is, if there was ever any doubt in your mind that a prehistoric, technologically advanced civilization existed, there can be no more doubt about that. Now it's just about who was it and what the fuck were they doing? Was it aliens? Was it human beings that discovered a bunch of shit and got wiped out somehow? Who knows?
Well, look, you guys know I love the fucking alien shit on this show. Like, I do. I believe in it.
I hope it's aliens.
I believe in it. I think those people. I think it was Jesse. I think we did this on Ross Patterson Revolution, where the biggest race right now, allegedly, is to find these crashed spaceships, essentially, from UFOs, so that we can reverse engineer the technology. Now, seeing shit like this makes me think that, yes, this was from another planet and somebody else had the technology and built it there or whatever. Looking at this photo right here, and pop that up again one more time, Bob. Is it possible, because somebody was talking about the ground sinking, is it possible that these were put in place to not, so the pyramids would not sink?
Maybe, yeah, but I mean, what does that imply? What level of technological capability does that imply, that we've made springboards to keep a fucking massive structure that we didn't even think they were capable of building in the first place. I mean, all of this implies that there's some group of human beings or other that were technologically advanced to a degree that we were previously unaware of, and to a degree that, like this is something that would require massive machines to build. You know what I mean?
I agree, and same with the pyramids. Like they were using humans allegedly, right? That's so fucking heavy, and it takes so much planning and effort and everything else. I just don't see how you did it back then.
The mathematics to do something like this. So this would be, you would be using calculus and trigonometry to do this, right? To do something like this. In the same way that you would, though, at the Parthenon or the Taj Mahal or any of these ancient fucking structures, the rounded dome part, like once you start rounding off stone and fixing it to other stone like that, you're doing trigonometry at that point, right?
Yeah.
And calculus and stuff like that.
Because it's perfect,
but
it's not jagged.
Yeah, exactly, and it exists before calculus and trigonometry. So maybe they were eyeballing it. Seems unlikely, right?
Not a prayer.
It seems unlikely to me. All this seems unlikely, and this is incredible to me. This is one of the biggest discoveries in human history, as far as I'm concerned.
And is this verified?
Yes.
Okay, and who was the organization?
There's
or
a giant paper
verified this.
That, it's those two. He mentions it in the video, but there's two private organizations that looked into all this stuff.
Now I know this, and Bob, I'm going to ask you to go back to it one more time here. This picture. I know this picture looks like plywood on top of like springs. What do they think is actually made up of down there?
I don't know if they know what the material is yet. I mean, they can make some guesses based on the density and shit. What it's actually made of, but I don't know. I haven't seen that.
It would
part
be some kind of stone, I imagine.
It's definitely stone. The yellow part. Now, this is not. The colors are for your benefit.
Yeah.
To show the different structures that are there. There's a big cylindrical tube that's hollow in the middle, and then there's a fucking big spiral around it. Now, that could be a hose or a conductive material. Could be metal that conducts.
They said it might be stairways.
Could be a stairway.
Or a spiraling, yeah.
Yeah, it could be a stair. I mean, it looks a lot like a stairway to me. But who knows? I mean, our brains are trained to fucking pick stuff up like that, so who knows? But we know there's a big cube. So the just for context, the cylindrical part right there goes down 650 meters, and then the rest is the other 1,350 meters down to 2 kilometers.
Okay.
Right? So that box, or whatever the fuck that is an additional, it's almost a mile itself.
Right.
Almost a fucking mile. There's no way that, I don't know that.
So you're looking total at 2 miles then, down?
No, 2 kilometers.
Okay.
But
A little over a mile.
Yeah, a little over a mile, like a mile and a third or something like that.
All right.
Yeah, something like that. But I don't think human beings could build this now. Like, I've never seen a rock that big. I've never seen a 650 meter cylindrical, like, think of like, what do you call it? The concrete gutters and shit like that.
Yeah.
Or even the construction they're doing out here.
Stadiums.
They're doing it in like 40 meter.
Yeah, stadiums.
Yeah, but they're doing it in like 40 meter segments, not 650.
No.
I've never seen anything like, not to say that they're all one piece.
Yeah.
Right? But the fact that anybody ever was able to stack this shit is wild to me. Like, I have no concept of how they may have done this.
My only note I always tell people with stuff like this, when they're like, how do they do it? Like, what? Dude, this would have taken so long. Like, these people had nothing but time.
They did,
And
but
slaves.
I mean, but Bob, this is like,
this requires a level of technology and math that didn't exist then, so far as we know.
and generations of humans, like it, like how long
Yeah. But the fucking sphinxes were built over generations.
they were.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because this is like what, 3-4 generations? That this
But the
would take?
pyramids took decades to build also.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't happen in 3 years.
It took like 40 years, I think, to build those things.
Okay.
Let's see. The pictures don't show scale. What is the diameter of the pilings? I don't know if it says that in there. It does mention the diameter of the box at some point. So you have to go back and read it. I don't know. I don't have a data sheet in front of me. But there's going to be more eyeballs on this now because it just came out. There's going to be more eyeballs on this, and it's going to be there's so much shit we don't know.
Oh, yeah.
We look at space and like, oh, it's so big. There's so much shit out there. We don't even know what's on our own fucking planet.
No.
Right? We don't know what's in the ocean. We have no idea what's down there.
And
every year we discover like 10 new, like, what the fuck is this goblin
every
looking motherfucker?
6 months there'll be a new species or some fish that we've never heard of. and discovered, that dead body we talked about over in Spain. Like that thing was, 3,000 years old or whatever it was, and
300,000.
300,000. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, which is like we didn't think human DNA even existed back then. We were looking in like the 150 to 250,000 range, and it's way older than that even. So everything we think we know about human civilization on Earth is wrong.
Yeah.
And we've got the proof that it's wrong. We just don't know even how wrong it is. We have no idea what the fuck's going on.
No, we don't. But we do have proof that human civilization is getting it right today. And that's at adamandeve.com. Okay, Bob? What? That was a great segue there for that ad read here. It's the largest online adult store in the world. You can get every type of sex toy you can think of over there. Bob, I know you've always got your favorites here. What do you got your eyes on for you and your missus now that she just squeezed that baby out a couple days ago?
I got the Creature Cock Resurrector Phoenix Squirting Silicone Dildo.
Oh, perfect. For the aliens that built the pyramids?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Now,
Great.
you could maybe show this tight shot. I wouldn't. No one knows what that is.
Skip it.
Yeah. Look, sometimes you get a little annoyed that the dildo it doesn't do all the stuff that the regular cock does, and this one takes care of one of those aspects. Because if you want your dildo to shoot a load, I mean, this thing just absolute buckets.
So that goes inside of you?
Yeah.
Okay. And that's a kink too of like feeling the fucking sperm, huh?
Absolutely.
We've got female listeners back there. Yeah, ask them. I don't.
Yeah.
Really know.
Does it feel good getting cummed in?
I mean, it's got a handy injector here. You could use one of your basters, but I think you shouldn't fuck where you eat, so to speak.
Yeah, but I believe that too, Bob.
Yeah. But yeah.
So my grandmother always used to say,
this thing
you shouldn't fuck what you eat.
This thing is 9 inches long. It's got avian textures to work your body.
Avian, like birds?
Yeah.
So dinosaur.
Yeah, it's a dinosaur cock. I mean, it's a creature. It's the Creature Cock Resurrection Phoenix Squirting dildo. Like it's.
Is there any reviews on that? Oh, by the way, we got our own URL finally from Adam and Eve. So it's adamandeve.com/bros. adamandeve.com/bros, and you get 4 sex toys for $20.
Oh, shit.
Let's
That's
go.
a new deal.
It's a new deal.
That's not just not like FDR's
Fuck yeah.
bullshit new deal either. This one will actually get you somewhere.
This will actually get you somewhere. Read us some of the reviews here for this alien cock.
The first one is, the little woman loves it, and I like helping her with it. Now, for something else, I asked you 2 weeks ago to put my 9 movies in my library. No, I was just complaining, but the little woman loves it.
Whoa. Hey, Bob, I hate to stop you there. The little woman?
Yeah.
Never once in my life have I referred to my wife as the little woman. Is this a midget? Yes or no?
Don't know.
Okay.
No pics.
Maybe he's just a Louisa May Alcott fan.
Probably not. If you leave a review on a sex toy, you're probably not a fan of whoever that guy is you just said.
Well, that is the author of Little Women.
Yeah.
You know, the famous novel.
Never read it.
It's,
Never.
You probably
couldn't do it.
Did in high school.
No,
right?
they told me to. That was definitely one that I got the Cliff Notes from. I was like, I'm all done with this bullshit. What are they going to talk about? Fucking driving and voting? No thanks. Read me another review.
Caffeine Kitty says, might become my 3rd favorite. She's got a deep lineup, I guess.
Whoa. Her 3rd favorite.
Yeah.
I wonder what her first 2 are.
Yeah, hit her up on, search for that username on Instagram and see if that's a parallel
What's
account.
her name?
Okay, Caffeine Kitty.
Caffeine Kitty. Okay.
Yeah,
She has an energized puss.
Yeah, because that's her top. That's her 3rd, so she's got 2 others ahead of her.
Gotta have a rotation.
No,
Well, I mean,
understand that.
that's true, but if you're coming on to the most fucked up sex toy I've ever seen in my life and saying this is my 3rd favorite, then I don't even want to know you.
I do, actually.
To be honest.
I want to see what those top 2 are.
No.
Agreed.
My God. What else we got there?
River says, I always seem to have issues with products that claim they have really good suction cups, but this one really does. This was my first time purchasing something that squirts, and I was pleasantly surprised by this one.
That's awesome.
She likes the load.
But
It's a
she
good
also
load.
likes the suction cups. So that
Well,
means
so
she's
you can-
sticking that against the bathroom wall
Doing
or
herself doggy.
the tub.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
like to like the Today Show on the glass.
Yeah.
And give them a fucking show.
Oh,
like,
my
hey,
God.
this is today's show, bitch.
That would be awesome. In the background right there.
Yeah, you just ride that thing.
Slam that suction cup dildo there and then have it squirt inside of you.
Yeah. Or have it squirt into the crowd even.
Yeah. And then throw it to the crowd.
Yeah.
You know, just
well, sign it first, obviously.
LeBron it. You clap it and throw it out to the crowd there like the baby powder.
And then more load praise here. Sex Lady 77. You can't beat the real thing, but this is a close second.
Did you say load praise?
Yeah, load praise.
Is that a phrase that you just made up, or is that something that exists?
No, I just off the
That's
dome.
off the cuff,
Nice.
huh? I'm going to steal that.
All right, you've redeemed yourself from that shit earlier.
How do you keep the load warm?
I don't know. Maybe
I would
use a
probably heat it up. Yeah.
Boiling
Put it in
water.
the microwave?
Boiling,
No, don't
boiling
microwave
water.
it. That's not smart.
Boiling water is the way
No,
to
you
go.
want to bring it up to a natural temperature.
Much the same way you would heat a baby's bottle, I think is.
And then you got to mix it with a little bit of cold water and all that other stuff, so it's not too hot. Yeah, I understand that. So start having.
Wait, why hasn't somebody made a baby milk warmer that's like a kettle that you can just set the temperature on?
They do.
They do.
Okay, so why the fuck are people still doing it like retards?
Because they're expensive.
They're expensive.
So who
as shit.
cares if they're expensive?
You're only going to have it for a year. I'm with you, Bob.
Not
I
me.
still use a fucking kettle. Dude.
I would drink it at the same temperature all the time. Actually, you could just use the kettle to heat up the water in the first place and then mix it to the right temperature.
That's a lot of
A lot
work.
of
It's
people do
not.
a lot
It
of
takes
different ways.
12 seconds. What are you talking about?
But yeah, baby Brezza ain't cheap.
No, it ain't.
You say baby-
that formula? Shit.
Baby Brezza? Oh, yeah, I've heard of that. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
That's a good idea.
All right, start having more and better sex immediately. I got to take advantage of this brand new deal from Adam and Eve at adamandeve.com/bros. Go to adamandeve.com/bros and pick any 4 sex toys for $20. This is absolutely by far the best deal that we've ever had on this show. This is a limited time offer. So get your 4 sex toys while supplies last. There's something for everyone, just as Bob showed you. 4 toys for $20. So you're literally saving $175 with this exclusive offer. Take a look at adamandeve.com/bros to see what 4 sex toys will be yours for just $20. Go to adamandeve.com/bros. That's the only way to get this offer, dude. I love this company. I hope they never leave this show. This is one of our funnest that we get to read. Next up is the Department of Education going away. President Donald Trump could begin dismantling the Department of Education via an executive order.
He did actually sign it like an hour ago.
Did he really?
Yep.
So that's done. Okay.
I mean, it's done that he signed an executive order, but it's meaningless.
Okay. And this is in order to officially abolish the agency. So he did. And I think it's Linda McMahon, who's the head of Department of Education there. So what does this mean? And then how fast will one of these federal judges shut this down? Probably 2 hours?
We'll see. I mean, there's nothing to really shut down because this executive order is just directing it to be abolished. So it's a policy statement. There's nothing like certainly Trump can start firing people and the judges will get involved at that point.
Yes.
And this all has to go to the Supreme Court at some point.
Okay.
Like to be honest, I don't think district court should even have jurisdiction over the executive branch. It doesn't make any sense.
I don't either.
Like it should go immediately to the Supreme Court. Like the purpose of the separation of powers are separate, equal powers, right? Congress to legislate, the executive to administrate, and the fucking judiciary to adjudicate. That's the point of those things. So, if you have the very top level, which is to say the president, the commander in chief, making the decision, a district court down here, that's not his fucking peer. It should be the Supreme Court only that has anything to do with any of this shit. That's got to get rewritten soon.
Yeah, I mean, look, all of these things that Trump is passing, all these dickhead judges are blocking. Even the USAID, did you see that one?
Yeah. I mean, a judge just not too long ago today said that Trump has to return all the trans dudes, all the dudes that are pretending to be women, back to prisons with females. Like a judge said that, like, fuck you, dude. You don't. This isn't. You don't get to set executive policy. He is rightly ignoring these. But with the with the Department of Education, the EO will significantly diminish the department. It basically gives Linda McMahon marching orders to start firing people, cutting programs, cutting funding, blah, 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 right? However, the entire agency cannot be outright abolished until Congress passes legislation that addresses the laws establishing the department in the first place. The Education Department was established in 1979 after Congress passed the Department of Education Organization Act, and it was signed into law by Jimmy Carter, of course. Republicans, including former President Reagan, have since spent decades calling for the department to be dismantled in an effort to allow educational decisions to be determined by the state and local levels. Massey put up a bill for a vote, and it's another one of his one-line bills. The Department of Education shall terminate on December 31st, 2026. But in order to pass this, Trump would need congressional approval from a supermajority in Congress to eliminate the department. Not in the House, but in the Senate. He would need 60, right, to pass cloture vote, unless they were willing to blow up the filibuster for this, which I think they should blow it up and do everything they want.
Yeah.
To be honest. But, yeah, Trump doesn't have the ability to eliminate federal departments. Eliminating it would require congressional action, including a supermajority of 60 votes in the Senate, blah, blah, blah. Jamie E. Wright, a political pundit and founder of Wright Law Firm, also previously said that there could be obstacles to passing such a bill. To pass such a bill successfully, the law would require backing from members of Congress for the president's agenda to advance smoothly through the legislative process, an endeavor that may present obstacles. I mean, not may, it will. There's no way any Democrat is voting for this, ever.
Yeah.
So Trump has promised since 24 that he would work to close the department totally. And even when Linda McMahon was sworn in, he was like, all right, now go work yourself out of a job, basically. This seems very unlikely to succeed. I can't imagine this succeeding. We can't even get Republicans in Congress to cut the budget or make Doge cuts permanent. There's no fucking way they're cutting an entire department.
I mean,
there's no fucking way.
I will say this, though. Everything that Trump has ran on thus far, he's, done or tried to do at least. So with this, because I agree with you, I don't think the fucking repubes on that side will vote for it either. What was the other thing that got shot down the other day? Fuck, man. I forget what it was. But yes, to your point that you've always said on the show, executive orders will last for 4 years. Unless you pass these into law, the next president can come in and do the same exact shit. Hopefully it's Vance and we can continue doing this shit and then it stays. But yeah, with this one, man, the left is definitely going to vote no. I'm just curious which repubes will too.
I mean, the only way this ever gets passed is if in 26 the left somehow loses a bunch of Senate seats. Or the Republicans decide to blow up the filibuster and see what happens.
Yeah.
Neither one of those things are going to happen, I don't think. I mean, I've been shocked before, certainly. And Trump is a bit of a maverick, but is John Thune going to be the guy that breaks this, that invokes the nuclear option, as it's called?
No, he's a fucking pussy.
That guy's a fucking hump.
Sucks, yeah.
Like, that's just not going to happen. So, the way this is going to play out over the next couple months is McMahon is going to let Doge in and start looking at contracts. They're going to cut a bunch of contracts. They're going to look at OPM and see the personnel that they need to get rid of, and they're going to start firing a bunch of people, and they're going to pull back. They're going to rewrite the charter statement for the agency to be a collector and facilitator and not what they're doing now, right?
Okay.
A collector of information and then pass it to the states and let them decide what to do with it. But every one of those things are going to be challenged by district courts that have no jurisdiction over the executive branch whatsoever. We're going to have to parse through this shit over the next 2 or 3 months. If this doesn't get solved in the next 2 or 3 months, then the Trump administration will effectively accomplish nothing, to be honest, because that's just how it works. You've got 6, maybe 18 months at the most to legislate. And keep in mind, it's March 20th right now. This date next year, actually about a month prior, so about 11 months from now, are when people are going to start in earnest running for re-election for the House and for Senate. The people that are the third of the Senate.
We had the candidate from California yesterday, and that's, it's a year and a half.
Well, that's governor, but yeah, a third of
but still, it started.
A third of the Senate will be up in 26 as well, and they're not taking risky votes. in an election year. And tactically, the fundraising part for the election year starts in November of this year. That's how long you have. It's just, it seems very unlikely that it's just going to happen.
Yeah, I agree, and it sucks because there's just too many people to get through to try to get shit done. You know, man. That's the frustrating part about all of this. We can vote for our guy, get him in there. He'll sign the executive orders. These federal judges will shut it down, delay it for 3 to 4 months. It'll have to go to the Supreme Court. It's going to force the Supreme Court into like 90 fucking things that they're going to have to rule on here. And by that point, you're right. Then you're stretching this out into the midterms and everybody else. Then you still got to keep the House and the Senate, let alone all the shitbirds who are still in there and all that other stuff. And that's why nothing ever gets done.
Their plan right now is to have a reconciliation budget bill in September after the new fiscal year starts. And it's going to be, it only requires an up or down vote. There's no cloture vote on this because of some rules that have passed. And they want to cut this and cut that. They want to make some stuff permanent, but really it's just a reconciliation bill. So there's only so much you can do. And that's going to take everything Congress has to get it done. There will be no more political capital left for any of this other shit.
Yeah.
There's just no way. Unless they take that reconciliation bill and start adding shit into it like that, like getting rid of departments and stuff.
Yeah.
Then maybe, but I don't even know if that's legal with a reconciliation bill. I'm not familiar enough with that process to know if you can even add stuff like that. So who knows?
We'll see. That's the government, and that's why we hate it, because you actually can't do the shit we want to do here. We got some breaking news here. This is a wild one. Ex-Michigan coach, their co-offensive coordinator, Matt Weiss, has just been charged and indicted on 24 federal charges. Jesus Christ. Including unauthorized access to computer accounts and aggravated identity theft. The charges detail Weiss's alleged activities of hacking into student-athletes' accounts to obtain personal, intimate photographs and videos spanning from 2015 to 2023. The investigation, which prompted his firing from Michigan in January of 2023, also hints at a broader implication of privacy and security within the academic and athletic environments at the University of Michigan, and in particular, its football team here. So there was a lot of smoke behind the scenes regarding stealing everybody's practice footage here. 24 federal counts. That is a massive, massive fucking number.
Who is this guy?
He's the offensive coordinator for Michigan.
The new one or the old one?
Well, the old one, he got fired.
You know, like, was he part of
2 years ago?
Yeah, so he was part of the Connor Stallions fires.
Correct.
So what the fuck were they all up to exactly? Why was he exploiting their own databases like that?
What? No, he was taking nudes.
No, he was no. Well,
maybe.
Here's the thing, Bob. Like, if you're on there, okay? Let's say you were hacking into somebody's shit to look for practice footage and all this other stuff, because that was what it was initially for, of why they seized the computer, allegedly. If there is nudes, though, don't you want to take a peek, if there is some tasteful ones on there, some boning footage, You take
a look, but you don't fucking save them. What the hell?
Well, do you save the best?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it literally says seeking intimate photos and videos from college athletes.
Well, how do they know that he was seeking that? How could he be inside somebody's head unless he was like, unless they asked him, he was like, yeah, I was looking for nudes.
I think he probably had his own kind of favorites folder,
Yeah, I mean, if you got 100 pics of dong.
Yeah, but you don't know he was looking for it. Maybe he just happened upon them.
Man.
And saved those specifically.
That's what I think too, man.
You get proving intent there. I think that's editorializing. I don't appreciate the journalism that was done there.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying. Obviously the guy's guilty. Look at his face.
Oh, shit. Hey, Bob, because this story is breaking right now. The feds also say now that Weiss primarily targeted female college athletes, too.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, Bob.
Nudes.
Bob nailed it.
It's
you
nudes.
got it. Yeah.
Dude, why is it always the Big Ten? The sex crimes in the Big Ten athletic departments just do
Rob got it because you literally read that in the initial report.
Yeah, but it didn't say female fucking athletes.
It said, yeah, okay.
It said intimate photographs.
I thought it was dog.
immediately thought
I thought it was dog.
I thought it was dicks too, man. I immediately went gay with this. Why? You went straight?
Yeah.
I thought it was gay shit. I'm always going gay shit in my mind.
I think we just had a litmus test.
It really did.
Right in front of our very eyes.
Yeah.
You've got 2 gays and a straight.
Pull up a photo. Is that him right there?
Yeah,
That's him.
He's
okay,
not gay.
so going by your test,
Not gay.
Not gay.
Not even
Not
close,
gay.
yeah.
So if I would have seen a picture of this guy before,
That picture was up
then
there the whole time.
I could have said female.
This is your story. What are you talking about?
I was reading the article though. I
I've had
didn't.
this picture up for like 10 minutes.
This is a
Yeah, but I'm reading straight down on my computer. There's no teleprompter.
this is
here.
a dirtbag dude. Look at
Yeah,
him.
I don't
he's
get to
definitely-
see everything that's in front of me because typically I'm reading the news,
That
so
dude,
I've got to read it.
He's definitely got some date rape drug in his pocket right now.
Oh,
Easily.
yeah. Did you hear about my favorite story that's come out recently from the Big Ten is the Indiana basketball doctor under Bobby Knight who was fingering players' buttholes for decades.
Yeah, it's called a prostate exam, Bob.
Yeah.
I'm doing them in the alley behind the building after the show.
Do you have cancer?
Yeah, I saw that on the
Or
calendar.
not have cancer? Yeah. Do you want to know if you have cancer or not? God damn it, Bob! Like he's doing you a free service.
I just
here.
want to know if Isaiah Thomas caught one.
Maybe that's why he's so
boy.
upset.
boy.
Maybe that's why he hates Jordan, is Jordan didn't get fingered.
Or maybe that's what started his sexual journey.
Isaiah Thomas? Is he a gay?
No, he caught some charges. Or
Guys,
caught
He
some
caught
allegations.
a lot of allegations.
I fucking if you put up a picture of Isaiah Thomas's face, I would say gay.
Yeah, he looks kind of.
So is it dudes or chicks? The allegations.
It was chicks.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
And that one I'm shocked on. Just by looking at him, he looks gay.
This was like 20 years ago.
He also talks very gay
Yeah, it
too.
wasn't that long ago.
He's soft-spoken.
He's very Wow, dude. 24 counts, federal counts. That's a lot. God damn, dude. What a fun day. Next up, another college story this will bleed right into. UPenn swimmers are finally speaking out. Trump's administration has ramped up its crackdown on trans athlete inclusion in women's sports, and many women impacted by the issue are speaking out in support. This is the bill they shot down. Or no. Did it pass?
I mean, it's not a bill, it's an EO.
The EO passed. However, they took it to...
Every Democrat voted against it.
Correct. Yes.
No,
So they
except
voted
for,
no
I'm
against
sorry, except for Lurch. He voted for it.
Did he?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
No, he didn't. He said no. Positive.
I think he's the only...
You know what? I read his statement on air on fake news.
I feel like he's the only one who voted for it.
Look it up, Bob. I think
Yeah.
Fetterman voted no, and he said we need to find a better solution. Because I remember reading the statements, I think it was on fake news, that said only a handful of Pennsylvania athletes are trans. And it was like, fuck off, bro. Fuck
Okay.
off.
So, I mean, what does that mean?
Every single Democrat voted against
No,
this
I mean,
bill.
what does it mean that only a handful? So it's like, oh, we've only got a couple of dudes watching you undress.
Exactly. And I think if you find that tweet, Bob, the way he worded it was obviously for his own people saying, hey, guys, this is only affecting a handful of people. And it's like, cool, man. It only takes one dude to win a race, including at Penn here. After the administration paused $175 million in federal funding to the University of Pennsylvania over its inclusion of transgender athletes in women's sports, which Fox Business exclusively reported Wednesday, many of the women had to compete alongside former UPenn swimmer William Thomas, a man pretending to be a woman named Lia, have spoken out in celebration of the funding pause. 3 of Thomas's former UPenn teammates, Grace Estabrook, Margot or Margit, which is Margaret.
Who cares?
That's a weird word. Kazarowski, Ellen Holmquist provided a joint statement to Fox via the Independent Council for Women's Sports, praising the Trump administration's actions. We are so glad that universities are beginning to see that there is a cost to openly harming female students on their campuses, and we hope the pressure only increases. Penn and other universities within the NCAA are under NCAA policy and with their own rogue leadership have violated federal law and hurt women. They have knowingly stolen opportunities and awards from women, placed women in physical danger, and facilitated the sexual harassment of female student athletes. Every woman on a college campus and under NCAA regulations should be assured that Title IX protections, institutions that disregard the well-being of women have to understand that they don't get to rewrite or ignore federal protections that women rely on. This is great. And again, that number was 0, Bob.
What?
Fetterman voted against that.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
It was a 0 across the board.
It was across party lines.
And
it was down party lines.
And don't you need 60% to pass it?
To get out of cloture, yeah, but
Yeah.
they took an up or down vote on it because they knew that it wouldn't pass. I guess
It was a roll call vote. Yeah.
So it's done, right? You can't.
I mean, you can bring it up to vote every single day if you want. They voted on to repeal Obamacare 46 times.
Yeah, I mean, they got to keep doing this one, man. This is fucked here. Also, obviously we had Riley Gaines on the show right after this happened, and she's, gone on to be a prominent figure in regards to speaking out against this as well. I have not heard from any of the other UPenn swimmers who were pissed off about this.
Not until today.
Yeah. So, good, man. Because what the fuck, man? Imagine having to pretending to be cool with that charade.
Well, there was some
as a college athlete.
It went down in some high school last week where the kids were they made them stay in the locker room and change in front of the dude.
Really?
Yeah, I think was it in Utah or some shit? I don't remember where it happened. I just saw it on social media, but people are fucking losing their minds about it.
Yeah, goddamn, man.
That dude was Matthew Weiss.
Yeah, exactly. And he's just been charged with 24 federal counts of holy shit.
I play here now.
Yeah.
Get undressed.
So fucking crazy, man. Last but not least here today, the Vax was not safe here. The results are in. You can go ahead and read this one here. Who did this study?
So this is the largest. I could read off the participants in the study if you'd like. It's available at Science Direct. And the name of the study is COVID-19 Vaccines and Adverse Events of Special Interest, a multinational global vaccine data network cohort study of 99 million vaccinated individuals. Pause type until you get that in.
Okay.
And you'll find there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's about 25 scientists and data analysts.
And this one was broken by Nicholas Holscher, by the way, an epidemiologist and administrator at the McCullough Foundation. I just wanted to find that.
Yeah, and he posted some of the results here that show what we're talking about. But there's dozens of people involved in this project, and basically they're pouring through data from the from the GVDN, which is the Multinational Global Vaccine Data Network, GVDN, Global Vaccine Data Network, and it tracks all this stuff. So people who receive the mRNA vaccine, 610% increased risk of myocarditis, 378% increased risk of acute disseminated encephalomyelitis. ADEM is what it's called. I have no idea how to say that word.
Okay.
323%.
Epidemiologist?
Nope. 323% increased risk of cerebral venous sinus thrombosis, CVST, and 249% increased risk of Guillain-Barré syndrome, GBS. But you know Guillain-Barré syndrome following the injection.
Okay.
And there's a link. It's on the NIH website. The case number is 383506768. So pubmed.ncbi.nlm.nih.gov/38350768. You can go read the results yourself. It's 99 million people. It's the largest study of any sort of vaccine ever, and it shows clearly that this was not safe. Not in any meaningful way. All the stuff they told you about it was a lie. That, you can get myocarditis from COVID too, which is true, by the way. And they tried to pretend like it was the same rate. Not even fucking close.
Right.
So, some people got some splaining to do. We'll see as the courts continue with all this, how this, again, I was talking to Andy about this the other day on his show. This whole thing where Trump is saying that the pardons are not legal, that he has no jurisdiction on that. I think it's Article 2, Section 2 of the Constitution gives the president ultimate authority on pardoning, and nobody can question him after the fact.
Okay.
That's how that works.
Even if it was with an auto pen?
You would have to, there's a part where you can prove fraud, but play that out in your head. The Department of Justice and the White House counsel say, hey, we think this is fraud. And Biden just stumbles in one day and says, no, I signed it, and walks out, and that's the end of it. right?
Yeah.
Like, and you would like, we're not going into court to adjudicate the mental health of a guy now. It would be impossible. Like if you did, even if you did a mental health exam on him right now, all it would prove is he's not good now. It wouldn't prove he wasn't good 2 months ago when he signed these things,
right?
Unfortunately, so it's not going to happen. Okay. So I don't know what they're going to do legally about all this stuff, but I will say this. The people who lied to us in the medical community and the government need to be stripped of all their licenses. Like these people need to, if they're attorneys, they need to be disbarred. If they're medical people, they need to have their medical license revoked permanently. Trump needs to immediately remove any regulation that prevents vaccine production companies from being sued. They should be sued right now. And those like, there's like an 85 or 75-year moratorium on lawsuits for this stuff. They all need to be removed, and these people need to be sued. And then finally, similar to the rug pull lawsuits against people like Steph Curry and shit for those crypto scams that happened, anyone who advertised for these organizations or promoted their products and got paid for it in the media or celebrities or anybody else, they should be held accountable with lawsuits as well. And I think it would be fair just to file lawsuits against them for the amount they were paid and take every dime of that money back and put it into a survivors fund for people who were vaccine injured by all this stuff. Every cent they were paid to endorse these products should be taken and used to pay people for the injuries from this poison, right? Just as if you had broken a law and the government's just going to sue you for the exact amount that you made off of it, right? That's how this should work. These people have to fucking pay.
You know what's interesting is they stopped running those commercials too. I don't know if you've noticed.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
I noticed.
Yeah, they're no longer running those now. And you know, this thing that went through the office for the last couple of weeks is this. It's the flu. It's influenza A, which is now a thing now. Now that COVID is not a thing now, so it's all very, very fucking strange. And I'm sure. They'll be there soon. Did I hear right that he could potentially lift the thing on being able to sue these guys or no?
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly within our authority to do that. I think that was that was either an EO or as an NIH regulation or a CD or not CDC, FDA regulation.
I think, was it him or who signed it? Was it him or Biden?
Who, Trump?
Yes.
I don't remember who it was.
Okay.
I mean, the vaccine came out
because he did Operation Warp Speed, so maybe he signed it and could revoke it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter who signed it; he could still revoke it.
Okay.
Whether he chooses to or not, we'll see.
Gotcha. Now's the point of the show. We get to the Drinkin Bro of the week. You can submit on drinkinbros.com. However, we'd rather have you live in studio here so we can see your faces, get to meet you, and you can come and destroy the hard AF seltzer that's here. God damn, y'all wiped out that fucking fridge this week. That was filled all the way to the top this week, and it is now gone. On drinkinbros.com, everybody's saying this is one of the bro box has been on fire. This is one of the best ones ever. Yeah, that flask and the bottle opener and the shirt and all that shit was fucking rad, dude. Subscribe to the bro box. It's incredible. And what else here? Oh, the shit. Am I wearing it now? The Gulf of America shirt? Yeah, the Gulf of America shirts are on fire. Also, I got under this. I got the new Drinkin Bro shirt underneath this today. This thing fucking rocks, dude. Yeah, dude. Pop top. It got chilly here in Austin, Texas today. So Daddy's wearing a hoodie. This weather's been wild, man. Dropped down to like 43. I think it's supposed to get colder tonight, which is wild. Who do we got in the studio here? Out there who wants to come up and give Drinkin Bro the week? Let's start with you guys on the couch. You guys were here first. Come on down, my friends. And yeah, go to drinkinbros.com. Get some merch, dog. We're all stocked up. We got the glassware. We got everything here. It's all over the studio. Boom. These new glasses, these Drinkin Bros glasses are fucking dope. I've met you a million times. Put that mic about an inch from your face and tell everybody your name.
Yeah, my name's Steve. We met over at, let's see, what was it? The UT game over in, around the
Blackout Drunk.
Blackout, yeah.
Yep.
Bernie at the Hard AF launch.
Blackout Drunk?
Not quite.
Well.
Not yet.
Well.
By the time I left, you were.
How am I supposed to remember the rest of the day? Keep going. Keep going.
Let's see. Where else was it? I've been up here in the studio a couple times.
it depends on what night. You know, we'll see. We'll see on that.
I think it was a Tuesday, maybe.
Whatever it is, yeah, it is. We appreciate you being here. You've been here all day. And you've been chilling out, having some seltzers, just enjoying your life here. You brought a little lady with you, I saw.
Yeah, my wife.
Oh, that is your wife?
Yes.
Congratulations. And you were showing around the studio and all that stuff. So, you can grab some hats or whatever, by the way. We don't care. Stickers, everything else. Who do you want to give Drinkin Bro of the Week to?
I'll give it to my wife.
That's awesome.
I mean, she's put up with my shit for, 17 years now total?
Holy shit. That's a long time. Congratulations.
We've been married for only 15, 16 years now. But she's been
It's
put
still
up
a
with my
long
shit
time,
for
dude.
quite some time.
Yeah, man. And you seem like you're in some weird shit. Yeah. Yeah. What is it? Butt stuff?
Nah.
Feet stuff?
No.
Come on.
Not that.
All right. Other dudes?
She's a teacher, so I'm going to keep it PG.
Gotcha. All right. I don't know if you had a cuck chair in the room. It's fine. Look, Bob's got a bull. So if you do, you do. But cheers to her, and we appreciate all the support over the years, man. I've seen you many times before.
Oh, yeah.
I know the face. I just never know anybody's fucking names. You and I were chatting about this earlier. If you come here, you notice we have no windows, and it's for production. So, like, you're literally just in a black studio all day, and you're just like, hey, man, I don't know what fucking day it is. I know the news is in front of me, and I'm reading that. That's about it. So.
Same with me. I wake up, go to work, come home, make dinner, go to sleep. Same thing.
Yeah.
If my alarm goes off, I wake up.
Yeah. I mean, luckily, I love what I do, so it's fine. I don't really care. However, I'd like to see a little bit more sun because I'm fucking white just looking at myself here. All right. Who else is next? Who's back there? Come on down, sir. Come on down. Is it back? Thank you, Delco. I appreciate it. Because they do have to walk from the back of the studio from the top, you know? There we go. Yeah, look at you.
What's up, dude?
Fine looking man you are, sir.
Appreciate it.
Congratulations. Yeah, dude. Look, one good looking dude to another should be able to say that and appreciate it, you know? Put that mic about an inch from your face. It moves. You can pull it up. It's not fragile. There you
Might
go.
be.
No, it's not. I promise you that. I've sat in front of this goddamn thing for 10 years now. So, same one. What's your name?
Austin.
Austin. Where are you from?
Hayes, Kansas.
Oh, I was hoping Austin, Texas, obviously. Yeah. That would have been great.
It would have been all right.
Yeah. Who are you here with?
It's my girlfriend.
Oh, that's your girlfriend?
Yeah.
How old are you guys?
21.
21 years old. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thanks, dude.
Drinking some hard AFs and all that other stuff. Now, she was here for Ross Patterson Revolution earlier, and we showed, I think, 20 or 25 death videos on Patreon, on Drinkin Bro's podcast. Patreon, if you're in the studio, you got to see it here. She seemed a little squeamish.
She's never seen an episode. She's
Ever?
Never.
Today was the first day?
Yeah.
Holy shit. Are you guys still going to be together after this?
We'll see.
Two of these back to back?
We got to drive back, hopefully.
Whoa,
I gotta ride.
dude. Holy shit. That's nuts. What a day to come. Man, we were just watching straight up death videos for like a half
wild,
hour. Dude. Fuck, dude. On Ross Patterson. That's nuts. All right. Shit. Who do you want to give Drinkin Bro of the Week to?
I'll give it to her.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long have you guys been dating?
3.5 years.
Nice. You guys in college?
She is. I do HVAC. So.
Oh, shit.
Out there.
You rich?
Something like that. Dude.
Yeah, dude.
One of these days.
HVAC. God damn, y'all motherfuckers are rich.
It's good work.
Sure is, dude. You want to put one in for us and give us a discount?
Dude.
These motherfuckers charge like $9,000 out here. They like my parents was like 19,000 or something crazy.
We're pretty close in Kansas.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, I do probably like 14, 15.
God damn it, man. All right, I'm gonna put you on the spot here.
I got you.
Okay. The fucking AC out there. We looked at it on Amazon. Same exact one, same exact model. They came in and pitched us. Okay, and they were like, "Oh, it's gonna cost $7,000." The goddamn thing was $1,500 on Amazon. Same exact model, same as everything. I could have it delivered to the studio, but they wouldn't install it because they said, "Oh man, we gotta fucking install that ourselves, man, or else we don't trust it, unless it's our model, whatever." And I go, "Motherfucker, what's the difference between you buying it and me buying it? It's $1,500. What's the other $6,000 for?"
A little bit of labor, a little bit of parts. I mean,
nothing.
Yeah, there's not. Yeah.
That's why I say you guys are fucking rich, dude. Like, it's this intricate thing that you pitch, and I'm like, no, dude, it's not that tough.
No.
I just don't know how to do it because I'm a fucking idiot. Yeah.
It's not hard.
Learn a
It's not
trade.
hard. Yeah.
Learn a trade, and you'll be rich.
That's where it's at.
I know. I always say it on the show all the time, dude. I get it. Congratulations. It's fucking awesome.
Thank
you. Because the other ones, like, we do some Friday shows that are like usually once a month with like businesses of like creating your own business and everything else. But we do that in case you want to do that. However, guaranteed money is in the trade business where it's like that shit's never going anywhere.
Yeah. Well,
and AI can't do that bullshit.
Nah.
So, yeah.
Owning your own's where all the money's at. That's the goal.
Is that your next step?
One of these days.
Yeah.
Got a little while to learn the rest of it.
Yeah, you're 21. You'll get there.
Yeah.
You'll get there. And she's going to college. What's she in college for?
Radiology.
No shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Look at that, dude.
Yeah. She starts her clinicals this summer. So then after that, she's making all the money.
Congratulations. That's dope, dude. How long you guys been together?
3.5 years.
Shit. You guys going to get married?
One of these days.
All right.
Wait for everything to settle down.
Yeah. Wait till she finishes college.
Yeah.
Yeah. That way you guys can enjoy it and all that other stuff, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Who do you want to give Drinkin Bro of the Week to? Your girlfriend?
I give it to her, yeah.
All right. Anybody else?
No.
Dad, brother, friend? Who turned you on to this show?
One of my buddies at work, Sam.
Okay. We'll give it to Sam.
Yeah, we'll give it to Sam.
Is he listening today?
Yeah, he'll be listening.
All right, good. It's on YouTube, too. So
Yeah.
if you want to show Sam,
Yep.
we're live on YouTube right now.
Yeah,
So
I'll send it to him.
awesome.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yep,
Cheers.
thank you.
And if you were looking to take back, there's a lot of people are take back Hard AF back to whatever
Yeah.
state, because we're not in Kansas. Just go to that HEB about 2 miles up the road on the left.
Will do.
They're stocked up, and you can grab a bunch and take it back to Kansas.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
We got some other people who just popped into the studio back there. You want to come up? Yeah, come on up, dude. Look at this gentle giant. Hit the music. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, dude. You scared the shit out of me earlier.
Why is that?
I thought you worked for a law firm and you were here to serve me a suit.
No.
Okay.
I'm not the attorney.
So I'm not getting sued live on air here?
Yeah.
That did happen. Joel
No,
actually
no.
signed
I'm
for it and then brought me the goddamn lawsuit.
No
so.
process server here.
Okay, good. Good. What's your name?
Glenn Rice.
Glenn Rice. Like the basketball player?
Yep.
Sure you've never heard that before?
No, and I'm from Miami, so it happened.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Born before or after him?
Well, I'm 44. I'll be 44 this year.
Okay.
So after him, definitely.
All right.
Yeah, I think I was like in 5th or 6th grade when the Heat started up with him.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your parents didn't name you after him?
No,
or
there
anything?
was no.
Okay. Just checking.
No connection there.
Just checking, and then you had to hear it the rest of your life.
Oh, yeah.
Including from assholes like me.
Yeah. Playing Little League ball and be like, here's Glenn Rice.
I know.
Chubby little white kid would run out.
I played against this white kid in Little League. His name was Michael Jordan. The worst, you know? And they didn't name him after that. It was just an accident.
Works out.
They didn't fucking know. Who do you want to give Drinkin Bro of the Week to?
I'm going to do my parents.
Okay.
You know, my mom came over from Cuba way back in the day. When Castro took over, they worked her butt off, built a business. My dad
You can say ass on the show. We said horrific shit for the last 2.5 hours.
No, I've been listening to you guys for quite some time. So
that's awesome. How long?
Before you guys moved to the Carolinas.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
You're almost a day one homie.
Almost.
Yeah. I miss Carolina.
Yeah.
I miss North Carolina a lot.
It's nice up there.
Sure is. God
Yep.
damn it. We're on the beach too. I blew it. You
It
know?
happens, you know?
Yeah, I came here for work, you know. No,
So
it was the advertisers offered us a decent deal, so it all worked out in the
You
end.
go where the money is.
Yeah, you go where the money is, and then afterwards I'll head back down there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming, man.
No, I appreciate it.
And yeah, dude, I'll come and hang here in a sec after the show's over. Anybody else? That's it. All right, kids. Thank you so much, man. Thank you guys so much for all your support. There's like, I don't know, 10 people back there now fucking raging. So we greatly appreciate it, man, across the board. From fucking merch to Hard AF, even just listening to the show and telling somebody else about it. And if you, for free, you can just fucking rate the goddamn show a 5-star and leave a quick review on iTunes. That helps too, I promise you. It's all the advertisers care about. And Spotify, it's just a 5-star and you can walk away. Enjoy March Madness. What was the final score at Auburn? Did they cover 32.5? They did not? No. What was it?
They won by 20. Won by 20.
20?
Yeah. Also, McNeese State almost blew the fucking game against Clemson. They won 69-67.
Really?
So they barely survived.
All right. God damn it, dude. March Madness is here. For D'Anthony Holloway, I'm Ross Patterson. This is Drink.